Back here on center court for the second ICPL event. Center court for the second ICPL event is going to be the hybrid field. It's a mix between the woods and the hyperball field. Just like every field, there are 3 distinct sections of this field. The most important and the one we have to talk about first is the trench side. If you can make it into the trench, you can win the game. Now, also in the center, direct 50 of this field, you have a gigantic tank. It's going to be very difficult to get to this tank as it's kind of no man's land. There's not a lot of bunkers to get up into that tank. But if you get into the tank, you can shut down either the trench or the sub side of the field. Now, the sub side of the field is also going to be tricky. At the 50-yard line, you have an important bunker that we are calling the sub. It's going to be difficult to get to that spot, but since a lot of attention is going to be put on that trench side and potentially up to that 50-yard line tank, people might be able to sneak up into the sub and change the game. Also, there are going to be numerous bunkers in the backfield, which people will start their attack. It's going to be a bloodbath here on center court for the second ICPL event.
So welcome to the 2020 ICPL Sunshine Classic. I'm Eddie Marshall, and I got Tom Cole here, the president of the NXL, the very first event of the 2020 season going down right now here at Central Florida Paintball. And man, everyone that knows me knows how much I love 10-man, just paintball in general, but it's so nice to be hearing these autocockers and these mechanical guns be shooting here. It is a bright and crisp morning here in Florida, pretty cold for this state. And the game that is about to go down is Annapolis A-Team going to be taking on Cap Factory. And looking forward to seeing this battle. Cap Factory definitely one of the favorites here. So Tom, how you feeling this morning?
I feel good. I'm pretty happy. I think everything's coming out pretty good. Weather's a little chillier than I'd like it, but
Tom, you're from Maryland. You're
I know.
Born of Hardstock. This is not cold.
Once you become a Florida boy, you become soft. But it's supposed to get pretty nice today. It's just a little early. So, and as you pointed out, I'm from Maryland, so there's no question I'm rooting for the A-Team.
Yeah, Annapolis A-Team, one of another team that's got some good players on it. But you know, with Cap Factory, I played on Cap Factory in Chicago.
Dave Baines.
Yeah, Dave Baines, Roy Richard. They got a lot of the damage players on that squad here.
Is Montresor playing with them?
Tim Montresor is playing with them as well. So very much looking forward to seeing what the boys from Cap Factory have here on this hybrid field. So, you know, the battle.
So they did pick up Glenn and Rodney from Dynasty.
Yeah, so Dynasty's not here. Dynasty not able to come to this one. But
they have a tough schedule.
Yeah, they have a tough schedule. But so they were able to get the brain trust of the Woods Ball Dynasty guys that won the ICC, and that's Rodney Squires and Glenn Forrester.
Yep.
Glenn Forrester, old school pro from back in the day. He was with Dynasty when they started that franchise. You know, in its very beginning in the early 2000s, Rodney Squires also was there with that as well. Too. Rodney's played on a laundry list of all the top
every
teams.
team that's ever played paintball.
So about to get things going here shortly on this hybrid field. And Tom, I really do like what you guys did with this field, because when we came and played this first event, and I was here the couple days before, the transformation that you guys made out here on this field was pretty miraculous. I love Central Florida Paintball. We've been here for many events over the years, done a lot of college paintball championships here. And this is a hub of paintball in this area of the world. But you guys carved out a pretty awesome hybrid, you know, half hyperball, half woods. It just looks really cool with the oaks and the Spanish moss out there as well, too.
Yeah, the oaks and the Spanish moss made my job a little easier. But yeah, yeah, we really believe that we need a good stepping stone from recreational play to competitive play. And we think fields like this really help make it more of a stepping stone.
Absolutely, and that's one of the reasons. Obviously, 10-man is a throwback to the original. Well, the original form was 15-man, but it was 10-man for a long period of time, and that's kind of how paintball cut its teeth in the world, and that's from the grassroots up how it became very popular. Then we went to a more visible sports-based format like we currently have in the NXL. That's the distilled version, but this coming back, I think, is going to be a really good stepping stone, and also just a pure fun. I mean, so everyone's out here smiling on their faces. Everyone's like a big reunion, and also seeing a lot of new faces. Guys that haven't been at some of these 10-mans already are starting to get the words going out about how fun this is. So, you know, we're going to see some chaos. We're going to see some controversy out here. It's 10-man. We're probably going to see some arguments.
We already have a controversy
Yeah.
in the second game over there.
Bobby Aviles.
Bobby Aviles' case.
Longtime Ironman. Just gotta love seeing it. Bobby Aviles is just a little off camera, giving the head referee a little piece of his mind here. So yeah, it's already started. This is it's going to be a really fun weekend here. Day 1 of the 10-man, and since that argument with Bobby Aviles has been going on, it looks like we're finally going to get things going here. And so, yeah, Cap Factory is going to be starting from the blue side, which is the right. Now, we also have a new addition with the, we're experimenting with a cable cam out here, so we're going to be seeing some interesting shots, more on that sub side. So this field, it's pretty interesting. You have, there's the start station right here, the blue start station, and here we go. 12 minutes on the clock, and getting things going here. And it looks like Cap taking a lot of ground off the break.
Yeah, breaking out everywhere, guns up.
And I think that's Andy Kopchak potentially up in that center. It might be Roy Richard. Can't quite tell from here, but no, Andy's in the backfield a little bit. Still, good position off the break for Cap Factory. Big Dave Baines is in the back rolling his gun. He's doubled up, but good position immediately here, Tom, for Cap Factory.
For sure, which is weird because I think A-Team's got the youth and the speed, and they let Cap take all this ground on them. One Cap guy looks like he's leaving now, so.
Yeah, that's Glenn Forrester taking the walk here.
Glenn Forrester, first G1.
Oh, Glenn, got to tighten up in your spot there, bud. But yeah, so it looks like Cap Factory is going to be down a body. It does look like a body is coming off for the A-Team, so it's a 9-on-9 right now. But Tom, just much better field position here for Cap Factory with that body up at the tank. They also have good position. I think this is Timmy Probst. So Timmy Probst, longtime player from here from Florida, played for Tampa Bay Damage for years, and also played for Strange. And here comes a fill across as well. So Cap Factory looking pretty solid.
Yeah, this is the best I've seen Cap Factory look.
What are you saying?
Last year they had a tough time.
Yes, we did.
Tough time.
Yes, we did. We got the break speed off of this in Chicago, which just goes to show you that in this format, we had literally a laundry list of killers with Cap Factory for Chicago, but we did get murdered.
Yeah, I felt like that was a team that could win World Cup.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And then come here and not do well. But they looked dazed and confused when they were playing. They didn't really look like in sync.
I'm right here, Tom. Jesus. Anyway.
But I mean, maybe if you take a bunch of people that are really good and mesh them together without a bunch of practices, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah, right? and it's all, look, and here comes now a couple, so it looks like, I think that's Jacob Edwards here getting up into the snake.
Dave Baines just at the tank.
Yeah, Dave Baines filled up to the tank right there in the center. They also made a move on that sub side. So the farther side across the field is the sub side, tanks in the center, and then there is a modified snake made out of the hyperball tubes over here on the trench side, which a lot of the battle went down here on this trench and snake side. But Davey Simmons with Chicago Aftershock winning the event here the last time that we were here a couple months ago. He was their MVP, and a lot of the killing that he did was from that sub-side and from the triangle over there.
It is weird that Cap's being able, Cap just dropped another one, but they're taking a lot of ground. There's still 9 A-Team out there, and yet now Cap seems to have basically the field. Is that Andy? That looks like Andy Kopchak walking off over there.
Yeah, it does look like Andy is taking the walk, so now Cap Factory down to 8 bodies, and I believe they did shoot another body from the A-Team. So even though it is pretty even on the count here, all of the ground has been taken from Cap Factory.
Yeah.
Now Tim Montressor's going to get behind Jacob Edwards, so...
we got a little damage side here working the snake.
We really do. We got Chad Bougier. He's about to get into this trench. He's at the hyperball tube behind the trench. Jacob Edwards is in the snake at the 50. Tim Montressor behind him. And another kill coming off here.
A-Team coming off.
Yeah, so A-Team really playing on their heels right now. Hoping that Cap Factory's going to make a mistake on this push. Tim Montressor is thinking about making a move. He is behind the snake. He's thinking about going up into that center 50. He's on his feet to try to join his teammates. And there he goes. Tim Montressor's going to make his move. He almost gets caught in the open, but it looks like he makes it clean. So now Cap Factory has 4 bodies, Tom, at this 50-yard line.
Yeah.
With a ton of time left. There's still 8:20 left on this clock.
It is interesting because I don't remember seeing the A-Team walk in the field. So maybe they just didn't take this Cap Factory team serious enough to come take a look at the field.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe they saw results from Chicago and like, oh, we're going to murder Cap Factory. They're just going to be getting hammered in the parking lot. So
yeah.
So they're trying to close out right now, Cap Factory. But this is one of the tough things with this field. You have a lot of bodies. This is not 5 minutes. 10 on 10. You have a lot of bodies to work out to work them out of their spots. And got to be careful pushing into this
shoot,
position.
You shoot 3 people, you still have an X-ball team and a couple left.
Yeah.
So it's far from over at that
Tim
point.
Montresor is screaming bloody murder to try to get a ref in to check, and then here comes a move from Chad Bougier. Nice move. Chad Bougier comes over the top and gets in and then tucks in tight. Almost got clipped cross field.
Right away.
But that's good though. This is going to help Cap. Well, it's good for Cap Factory. Bad for the A team. So A team just needs to tighten it up and get in that cross position. You know, essentially, I shoot in front of you, you shoot in front of me. Stay crossed up and hope that you catch them on the push. But they have a lot of options. Cap Factory has a ton of aggressive options here with all these bodies that they've stacked up at this 50.
And Montress are doing a good job communicating, let everybody know his time's left. Stop them from getting stupid.
Tim Montresor looking for a move. He's up on his feet. Dave Baines is also at the tank. He's wrapping around looking for a move. Chad's just getting shot at right now in this trench. So he's doing the smart thing, which is just talk, chill, communicate, and just suck those guns up.
What I found interesting about Dave, you know, through my histories, I always felt like he was the bat guy, you know, like the anchor. He started playing the UWLs, and he's a hunter-killer. He wants to go get people.
Hey, Dave Baines can still play this game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There goes.
He wants to go get people. Oh,
move past the 50-yard line here as the bodies are starting to come off for Annapolis A team. There goes Chad Bougier. Here comes Tim Montresor and the full commit from Cap Factory as they are way past the 50-yard line, just trying to work these last couple bodies out here. As you can see there on your screen, the last few bodies here on the trench side.
Yeah, they're just guns up everywhere, just blazing. Blazing.
Well, this is a good look for Cap Factory.
Yeah,
Uh-oh, penalty. I think a penalty's being assessed right now on Cap Factory, which is pulling out a bunch of bodies now. Jason Edwards is still alive. Dave Baines is still alive. I think they have Rodney Squires as well. So definitely enough bodies to be able to get the flag.
But give up a bunch of points right there, not good.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit, so if people are tuning in, we're going to obviously be discussing this as the weekend goes on. But so Tom, talk to me a little bit about how the scoring works out here.
You're going to hit me with the hard questions. So a kill is worth 2 points. A live body is worth 1. There are points for the pull of the flag and points for the hang of the flag. And you got me flat-footed. I don't know the points on that.
But the point and reason why I brought this up, though, is because, it's different. In the NXL, in X-Ball format, bodies don't count. It's all about hitting that buzzer and putting points on the board. 10-man, it's a different scoring system. You have to worry about how many bodies you have left alive. Obviously, killing people is important because that's how you win the game. But you get points for that as well, too. And then you get points for the pull, you get points for the hang. So it's just a little bit more complex than just hit the buzzer.
It is, and it's a little bit about the finesse. It's like you do a dive, right? And you get scored on the dive, and it's how well you do the closing of it, right? So same way here. So they had, lost 2 bodies the whole game, and then in the last seconds there, they lose 5. So the better the team, the better finesse they're going to have closing out that game. So, in a perfect world, Cap would have just come through there, and they would have lost no more bodies once they got up 8-on-3. There's no reason to trade those bodies out, and they'll go back, and they'll be mad about that, and then hopefully the next game they'll come out and be more finesse. But you should get more points if you can clean a field off without losing a body, as opposed to a team that does the sloppy and goes back and forth. From my point of view, watching the games, I want it to be a bloodbath.
Of course.
So
selfishly, that's what we want to see.
I wanted to go back and forth. But as far as how good the teams are playing, if you can come off with 10 alive or 8 alive, that's obviously an improvement.
So it looked like, I think Cap Factory had 4 or 5 left. 4 for sure. I don't know if they lost Dave Baines. He wasn't, the live bodies at the end of the game, they have to go check in with the refs. And it looked like Cap Factory won it with 4. But like you're talking about, they started the push with 8.
Right.
So, and it did look like a penalty was assessed. Now, I couldn't see who the penalty was on, but a penalty definitely did cost him some bodies.
Judging by the way he was pointing at himself. Like
my bad.
They called me on this. But yeah, it's, and that's, they still had time. So, and they'll go back and they'll do that. They were just excited they were winning.
So going to be jumping up into this next game here pretty quick. And there are 3 separate fields going on. There's a hyperball field, standard traditional hyperball field, and then a pretty thick woods ball field. So quite the variance of different fields that you have to master out here. But again, that's the fun and the challenge of playing these events. It's not just one layout. You can't come, you can't set it up at your home field and play it ahead of time. So it looks like the War Boys are going to be on the red side, and Brimstone will be on the blue side. Brimstone, another old school name, Tom, that we were just talking about this before we went live. It's good to see, you know, teams like Dock Warriors or Brimstone Smoke, just having these teams that have been around for decades come out to play these formats.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting next to the X-Men, right? They were
Yeah.
a team when I started.
So about to get things rolling here. 10-man battle going down here, Central Florida Paintball. This is the ICPL, the Sunshine Classic. First event of the 2020 season. I'm Matty Marshall, got Tom Cole, president of the NXL, up here, is going to be calling games with me this weekend. So here we go. War Boys on your left, Brimstone on your right, and it looks like Brimstone trying to take some ground on that sub side, but Tom, the War Boys getting into that tank,
Yeah,
so tank's going to be tank's going to be crucial.
Refs running for the tank.
First body, looks like War Boys were going to lose a body, but I think the ref called him clean. And here comes a big move from Dock's Warriors.
Yep.
Or sorry, from Brimstone. Brimstone comes through, he gets one, and then he
out.
finally gets taken out. But man, it looked for a second like
clutch.
he was untouched to get the body out of the tank, and then he kept going forward, but then he got torched. So
Well, that's a little bit of no man's land just after the tank.
yeah, there's not a lot of spots to go to once you get past there. I mean, you got to go pretty deep onto your opponent's side of the field once you get past that tank from that specific position.
Especially on the break when they still have 9 bodies left.
So now on your screen, Brimstone Smoke. And you can see there from the backfield, 10-on-10 battle. Right now it's 9-on-9 with the move from Brimstone. That bunker move to take out the player from the War Boys. Referee is checking out one of the players here at that back
Another
tree.
Brimstone guy just taken out.
Did he die out of his spot? Oh, from the sub side. That's a tough death. So from that sub side, he had real good field position.
And another Brimstone guy just got called out on this back wire. So
the survivability, they need to tighten it up right now for Brimstone. But they are able to get
War Boys, yep.
Yeah.
Just lost the guy on the sub side.
Yeah, getting that crossfield shot on that sub side. So bodies dropping for both squads right now. We'll see who can reposition. No one at the tank for either team. And I don't think anyone's on that sub side currently for either squad as well. I think there may be one body up the field slightly for Brimstone. So Brimstone now, I believe, losing 3 bodies against 12 minutes. 12-minute game time out here at the ICPL, the International Classic Paintball League. This is an amateur game. We're going to be staggering pros and amateurs out here on this hybrid field. Brimstone making a move on that sub side to increase his position slightly. Coming out of that back stand-up double. Moving up just a little bit on that side. So kind of just each team feeling each other out right now, knowing they have a decent amount of time to work with. Just trying to win some gunfights right now. Did you, how much did you guys change this field at all? I was out there trying to figure out, I think you added maybe a bunker 2 out here from the last event?
Yeah, so we added, another Brimstone just dropped from the gun turret. We added basically 2 attack positions out of this ditch. Felt like last year when you got to the head of the ditch, it was really hard to come up out of it, so we added a blocker so the guy in the ditch attacking can get up and make a move. And we added a T to the snake, giving the players the flexibility to come out of the snake and go up to the 50 on the outside and shoot cross field a little easier.
I like that. I like offensive positions to give these front players something to work with. So
yeah,
this was a treacherous side in the first event. It was effective, but it was very hard to get in and hard to live. So the fact that you did add just a few additional options for these attackers on this snake in the trench side.
Well, so. I like people crawling in the dirt, right? To me, that's I want people winning games by getting down and dirty. So
we're looking at the snake right now here, snake side of the field, 8:26 to go, but Brimstone making a couple moves to get into better position. They did lose a body out of that turret now, so it's either 4 or 5 bodies that have dropped. So good. Now Brimstone's going to need to try to get up the field also on that sub side. And this player, though, Tom, he really needs to stay alive here in the snake because he's got the ball right now.
Well, and if the sub guy's definitely on for Brimstone's in an attack position for the sub. he's battling with someone down there. I don't know who he's actually battling with, but he wants to get in that sub. So this guy in the snake needs to live until he can get in that sub.
And that's standard paintball tactics. You take ground, and when the guns shift, then you take ground on the other side.
Yep.
I always use the boxing metaphor for that. I mean, the reason you throw a jab is to open up an opportunity to land your power punches, the overhand right. And then if you start throwing overhand rights, that opens up left hooks. So paintball is very similar. If you pushing up on the snake side, well, gun shift that way, start pushing up on the D side. And hopefully live once you get in these positions. And then looks like the head referee, Aaron, is in there checking out Taylor for smoke, and he's clean. You do catch a lot of spray through these hyperball tubes. And it can get a little confusing for the referee sometimes to try to figure out, is that spray, is that an actual hit? So Aaron doing his due diligence in there and making sure Taylor is clean. He is clean, and he is still looking inside, and we're getting a look here at Brimstone. Actually, this is Warboys, so Warboys on your screen right now playing defense here with 6 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. They definitely have two bodies at that, at the laydown roller. They're right past the turret. You can see one body shooting towards the sub side.
Oh, wow. They just...
Another body coming off for Brimstone.
Yep, and Warboys are calling it kill 6, so let's see how many bodies I see Brimstone has. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 4.
Yeah, they have one body for sure on the sub side, but he's still kind of in the
back.
backfield. He's at
Way
that
back.
triple. Not completely back, but pretty far back. They have Taylor here in the snake at the 50-yard line. He has a body over here at the tree behind the trench to give him some help. But Tom, they're still looking at a decent amount of bodies to push into. So even though they have pretty decent position over here, somebody's going to need to win a gunfight, because if Taylor tries to make some crazy bold move right here, he might get murdered.
Oh,
yeah. So Taylor trying to engage a little bit too much in the gunfight here with 5:50 to go. So that's just too many bodies that Brimstone is losing out of their bunkers here. Survivability, a bit of an issue for them. So the Warboys defense here working. Warboys gonna try to now move up the field and take advantage of this high body situation that they're in. And they definitely do not, now they're in a position where they don't want to run recklessly down the field.
Correct. Uh-oh. Brimstone's making a little tactical retreat, getting off that sub side, coming to the back.
Well, they still have a body over here at this tree, which is a pretty good spot.
Yeah,
it's a pretty
really
good spot. I was out there walking the field. I like that you guys added the two little hyperball tubes to that tree. I'm not sure if that was from the last event, but I remember when I first walked this field, when we first got here.
No, we put them in there. Yeah, we tried to. Oh, wow. 2 War Party just walked off right there at the same time.
Yeah, so the Warboys, little survivability issues of their own. They are just making a move, though, on the sub side. So defense working for both squads, it looks like, because people keep getting a shot at either in their transitions or out of their spots in good position. So Warboys, though, with good position on that sub side. They're at the 40-yard line, and it looks like he's going to try to wrap around and be able to make a move up into the 50-yard line on that sub side of the field here with just about 4:20 left on the clock. And getting a look here at the last couple bodies for Brimstone.
Do they have a guy in the center back?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if this guy on this top side can protect the sub side.
Well, the bodies that are on your screen right now for Brimstone, looks like one shooting towards the sub side. Got another body. They're talking it up, though, and they definitely have a lot of paint left. So this, see if the Warboys can break through this cross here. So this is the proper position.
Oh.
You want one guy looking sub side, one guy looking towards the trench side. They have another body alive still over here on this on the trench side, and that's going to give them, a threat over here that the Warboys need to worry about as they work their way up. But these guys are crossed up, so you shoot in front of your teammate, he shoots in front of you, and breaking that cross is definitely hard. That's to put it lightly.
But I think the Warboys have at least 4 bodies left. Yeah, and they're definitely in an attack position along this ditch. I don't know if he can get in there, though. This guy's on him pretty good.
Closing down on this time here. 3:12 left to go. And
move out from, instead of going to the ditch, going to the snake. I was about to say, I think the snake needs to be the next attack spot.
well, if he goes inside, if he gets in the trench, Oh, he gets taken out, so that is a nice kill here for Brimstone Smoke with just under 3 minutes to go. Take out the player from the War Boys who was trying to reposition and move up the field to try to close out. So getting a look here at that trench now on your screen. And there goes.
Making a big move out to the outside.
That's another good position.
Yeah, it's a good position, but he got picked up by the Brimstone player on the trench. The head of the trench.
Did he get taken out as he made his run in there?
No, he just got picked up. So
he knows he's there.
Yeah, he knows he's there.
Well, but at least from this position, he can gunfight right-handed against this guy's left hand, and sometimes that does help. I mean, a lot of guys out here can shoot left and right-handed, but depending on the level of skill that guy's got with his left hand, it could be an advantage for you here if you're on the red side of the field, on the left-hand side. And this is that battle here on the Snake side. They're in the trench. So this is the player we're talking about here. He's at that stand-up, but he is looking inside as we're now down to 1 minute and 56 seconds left to go. I'm thinking stalemate. What do you think?
Yeah, well, if one body dies, I think it's over. But yes, the way everybody's shooting, I feel like a stalemate.
Well,
this is slow.
War Boys just made a move into that sub side and the tank. Yeah, so they have the tank, they have the 50-yard line on the sub side, and they still have this body over here.
I think whoever loses this back guy on the ditch side is gonna lose the game, because this guy can make the move on all 3 of those bodies.
Well, that is what is powerful about this ditch side, about the trench, is that if somebody wins this gunfight and they can get in here and get down, then you can win the game from over here.
Yep, for sure, for sure.
But you got to get that first kill, and right now these guys are doing a good job of staying alive in their spots here on this trench side. The player for Brimstone, he's been playing real smart over here. Really looks like he's got some skills with his left hand, so he's been able to gunfight pretty solid from this position and stay alive over there, taking different incoming shots.
War Boys is all the way up on the sub side. He's going to start putting heat on this back corner guy.
Yeah, War Boys passed the 50-yard line on that sub side. The ref's checking him out, though, and the further that he gets up there, now he's going to start to have a real good angle, potentially, on this Brimstone player here at the tree. Still, though, I'm still thinking stalemate, man. 36 seconds left, and War Boys are making some moves, but they still got a lot of field to cover here and not a lot of time to do it.
Yeah, they don't have that killer instinct right now. Win, lose, or draw, you got to start trying to get some bodies off the field.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be a stalemate.
At some point in time, you just got to fix a bayonet and go for it.
Yeah, especially, it's just the start of the tournament, so roll the dice a little bit.
I mean, this is a loss both ways, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, anytime when if you're a top 10-man team out here and you play all your prelim games, anytime you stalemate, it's essentially a loss. If you don't put, like we used to call it a max back in the day, a max would be a perfect game. So yeah, it is going to go to a stalemate. We'll see on the bodies who is technically going to get and I'm using this in air quotes, the win, who will have more points. But
it might be a dead tie. It might be 3-on-3.
So yeah, just one body for both teams walking off this trench side to the center. All live players go to the center to get their armbands pulled from the referees. They still had, it looks like, 3 bodies for the War Boys.
And 3 for Brimstone.
Yeah, so it was a dead tie.
True tie.
A dead straight tie, 3-on-3. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. GoSports.com, trying to do as much as we possibly can to bring you guys the best shows that we possibly can with what we have. And we need as much support to do that. We want to have a great 2020 season. Very much looking forward to the first NXL event going down in Vegas. Tom, is registration closed for that, or can people still sign up for Vegas?
For Vegas? No, Vegas just opened up.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm not exactly sure where we're still on the schedule on that.
Yeah, no, we're still a good ways away. I think we had 150 teams signed up the other day when I looked, but we're still, I feel like it's forever away, but it always creeps up on me.
I feel like it's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah.
So yeah, then
I'm excited. I want to see the season start, see what's going on. There's been a lot of mix-ups in the pro teams, a lot of shakes everywhere. So it'll be interesting to see how everything goes.
Yeah, me too. And I do a weekly show where I bring different pros on and guys from the industry to talk about everything that's going on. So we'll be having lots of those on the lead up to Vegas. Also, we're headed to the Combine. New 5 Sundays just dropped, and we're here at the first 10-man. So it's going to be an awesome 2020 season. Again, please do me a solid and create a Go Sports account. Sign up to watch a ton of paintball this year. We got lots of the history on demand, the years past. So this next game now got another pro matchup. And this time it's going to be the Ironman, old school team here with, it's a great story. A lot of the guys that are on the Ironman, that was one of the most legendary teams that really kind of changed the game back in the early 90s. And now those guys are out here with their sons playing, which is a really cool story. So Ironman going to be taking on Armada. And I believe Armada is from Mexico. Is that the team that's from Mexico?
That is. They are the pro team from Mexico.
So see how they match up against Armada. And there is Armada on your screen. Going to be playing from the blue side. Old school Ironman in the tiger stripe, going to be playing from the red side. So on the left-hand side when we're looking at the angle. Here we go. Ironman, Armada, 12 minutes on the clock.
This is going to be interesting. This is definitely new school versus old school.
Yeah, for sure. Ironman are about as old school as it gets.
Yep, and Armada, I don't think they had pro woods ball in Mexico ever. I could be wrong.
Somebody's got to start it, right?
Somebody's got to start it, right?
So Armada taking better field position here for Armada as they get up to the tank
Drop
off
the body
the break.
right away on this on the ditch side.
Yeah, it looks
but
like
they are definitely in the tank.
It looks like Javier taking the walk here from the trench side, and it looks like they might be losing their back player. No, he's still alive. So it is a
and the infamous
10 on 9.
Ironman G1.
Yep. So it's 10 on 9 in favor of the Ironman.
I used to wake up with that. My nightmares.
Haunting your
G1,
dreams.
G1, yeah, I hate G1.
G1's not bad. It's when we're like G7. That's
Yeah.
when things are going bad for the team that the Ironman are playing against.
I always felt like for bad company to beat the Ironman, we needed to be up bodies. So
that first one.
I wanted companies before her G's. That's
Company.
That was how that went down. I wanted some companies before the G's.
So are you going to bring Bad Company to play these events at some point in time? I know it's a little conflict of interest.
It's
Probably
a
not.
conflict of interest.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, we, my guy, they were actually kind of salty with me because we didn't offer them a pro spot because they felt like they deserved it. And maybe they did, but yeah, I felt like it would be a little too much. And plus, I really like playing with the guys, so
Yeah.
they might come here and do well, and then I get cut from the ICC team. I mean, we went and hung out with them all, and you realize how many of them you've cut through the years.
So we're going to look at our cable cam here on your screen as the cable flies over this field, this hybrid field here at Central Florida Paintball. You can see the Armada player there in the snake, and then as we head on to the Ironman side of the field, they have a one-body advantage. It is 10 on 9. Actually, it's 10 on 8 now as another body comes off for Armada from that sub side. But so here the Ironman squad, a little bit more of a conservative breakout for them, but it did work out. Heavy guns up. That's the thing, Tom. You go with a conservative breakout with heavy guns up, hopefully you get some kills out of that. Because if you don't and the other team takes the ground, that still is a little bit of the case in the sense that Armada does have that body up at the tank, and looks like he does have a pretty good angle on that stand-up over there on the sub side.
It's a tough call strategy-wise. A lot of times when you feel you're the better team, you take less risks because you think you're going to win the gun battles. And sometimes that can come back to bite you, but for the most part, that's the strategy.
Absolutely.
You want to get the new inexperienced team and have them make a couple mistakes.
Well, that's that's one of those almost paintball cliches, right? You get the young, hungry kid who just wants to get up in that 50-yard line spot and get his 3-pack, get his 3 kills, or do something crazy and fun, and then he dies stupid in his spot, gunfighting
every
too
time.
much.
Yeah.
So that's ideally what you don't want to happen to your front players, but it's going to happen all the time as this is paintball. So Ironman still.
Yeah, that's important, especially in the classic thing in the woods ball, is when you get a guy into the 50, he's just got to lay low for a little while because all the guns are going to be him. Will freeze up everybody across the field and puts a lot of pressure on the defensive team.
So looking here at the Ironman on your screen, there's a pretty good cross-field spread for the Ironman. They've doubled up the roller. They have a body in the turret, but they need to eventually start taking some ground here, Tom.
The Ironman just made a move up to get an attack position on the tank.
Yeah, eventually they're going to have to run that guy down.
Yeah,
because he's playing pretty smart up there. I mean, he's engaging, but he is not recklessly engaging. And he's lived there the entire game so far. So he's been mostly focusing his gun towards the Ironman player trying to move up on the sub side, and he's been able to contain that aggression over there. So
another Armada guy walking off.
Yeah, so Armada having some survivability problems.
7 on 10, yeah, in their spots.
Yeah, Yeah, I haven't seen any Ironman players drop. We might be seeing one now, though, as the referee comes over and checks out one of the players at the roller, but it looks like he's clean. So we're still here on your screen checking out the battle, looking at the Ironman in their tiger stripes, and just a good cross-field spread. Good gunfighting, too. They have not lost a body. They've got 3 kills. They have 7 minutes and 50 seconds to work with. Oh yeah, that's a huge kill. Huge kill for the Ironman. This is going to open things up for that on that sub side. That gun has really been stopping their forward progression on that sub side of the field. I do like that you guys added the 2 minutes to the clock.
Yeah.
I feel like 12 minutes is, even though it doesn't seem like much, but that extra 2 minutes is huge.
Yeah, it definitely allows the game to develop a little bit. There's not so much urgency. We saw less stalemates. Let the game develop a little better, right? Yeah, some of that's just my own experience playing the ICC. You know, I played, you're making some good moves and you're crawling, but you have this sense of urgency. Makes it a little less fun, feeling like you got to do everything super fast.
Yeah, when we played Chicago, it was definitely felt like we always needed to push, Because if you're a really good team, you're going to have your opponent sit on you, and you have to now work 10 bodies out of their spots, and that's kind of difficult to do. That. Look at this, though, another body coming off right now for Armada. So
this is an example of what we were talking about before. If the Ironmen are up way bodies here, they got 10 guys who are playing smooth, methodical paintball. If they can continue this way, they're going to come out of this with a high score. Oh, here comes the big move by the Ironman into the snake.
Yeah, so the Ironman starting to utilize this high body situation. They're in the snake. They've also pushed up a little bit farther on that sub side. They're at the 40-yard line. They have the tank at the 50-yard line. So good. This is smart play from the legendary Ironman here.
What's weird is Armada. I'm looking at the Armada players that are all playing. Oh, there goes another one, but they're playing tight. You know what I mean? They look like they got good gun skills. Ironmen are just picking them apart.
Yeah, they're just working them out of their spots. And, you know, if you guys watch the NXL, the Ironman that exists in the NXL, it's a long story, but none of those guys are playing on this Ironman team. This is all the old school Ironman from back in the day. So it's not the LA Ironman. It's just,
this is actually the original Ironman is what they call their team name here.
Another gunfight win here for the Ironman. They have not lost a body. They might be winning this one 10 up, which would be excellent for their overall score here. I mean,
not good for Armada.
No, not good at all. I mean, if you can't get 1 kill, that's a rough game.
This is going to be good.
So now it looks like Haber into the snake. He's going to pop up, and and he's going to get, that's an easy kill. Yeah. Free kill for Dave Haber. If this is I think this is the Dave Haber from the Outlaws.
Really?
And if it is, Dave Haber's one of my favorite players to watch in all of the NXL, and he plays the one on the snake side for the Outlaws because he's just so athletic. He's a beast.
Is he from California?
No, I think he's from the East Coast, and then he moved to the Midwest, to Fort Wayne-ish area. So if this is, maybe it's a guy.
That is him.
That's got to be him, right?
That is him, yeah. No, I saw him earlier in the Tiger Stripe, and I
wonder how he ended up.
A second to put that together.
Yeah, and also, how did he end up getting hooked up with the old school Ironman guys?
Right, that's weird.
Still, that's a huge pickup for the Ironman because Haber is a talented beast out here on looks like any paintball field because he had a good going on this. But just an excellent, very solid game here from the Ironman across the board. They took a rather conservative break. They didn't really risk too many bodies. This field you can stretch out a little bit. Obviously, you can take that tank. But still, it was just a good look across the board for the Ironman. So they're going to get the victory here.
It's weird. I thought Armada was going to, I mean, when I watched the breakout and everybody getting their spots, short of that 1G, I thought they looked good. I thought they were actually going to start putting it on the Ironman there.
Yeah, the guy at the center 50 was looking good. And their gun skills didn't look bad. They just started to lose gunfights, and it was just a slow drop a body here, drop a body there, drop a body here, and it just, they could never work out any of the Ironmans out of their spot, or any guys out of their spots. So we're going to reset here, and next game coming at you is going to be the Slime Balls taking on the X-Men, and then the champs from the last event here. The last ICPL we saw at this exact same field, Chicago Aftershock will be taking the field to play Doc's Warriors, who actually won the amateur division. So that's going to be a good one. So we're going to take a quick, short break. We will be right back. I'm Matty Marshall with Tom Cole here at Central Florida Paintball for the ICPL Sunshine Classic. Don't go anywhere.
Jacob quickly pushed up the D side onto Impact's side of the field. But once the guns turned, Brown came through the snake side and pillaged his way through Impact's line with a 3-pack. to tie the game.
Now here comes the run through the highway, the inside route. Keith Brown smokes Goldman, stays alive, and gets a 2-pack. What a beautiful move. There's 3 kills. Keith Brown just won this game here, or won this point for Tampa Bay Damage to tie it up. That was an absolutely filthy move from Keith Brown.
Sick.
Woo.
Wow. Sneaks around, comes and says, hey, Alex, here I am.
What's up, everybody? Ryan Greenspan here from San Diego Dynasty, and the 2020 Paintball Combine is right around the corner. This is one of my favorite events of the season for a couple of reasons. First off, you get to knock off the rust and sharpen your skills for the 2020 season. On top of that, we'll have pro coaches from all over the nation here to mentor you along the way.
But you will also be assessed in a real live tournament situation by professional coaches that are able to sit there and watch you guys throughout the whole tournament and really dive in deep on what you need to do in actual gameplay.
Nowhere else on God's green earth can you get the focused attention of this many pros from all the top teams as they guide you through their tricks and tools of the trade. Simply put, it's a transfer of knowledge from one generation to the next, and I can't wait to see where these Combine attendees are in a few years. It would not surprise me at all to see the most tenacious of them on the pro field. Welcome to the BKI Summer Camp, a week-long immersive paintball training experience where the participants live side by side with some of the best players in the world, training every day with a unique set of drills created by the professors to extract and improve the best elements of their game.
Marcelo here. We're at day 1 of the summer camp. It is the introduction day. Everybody just flew in, so we're going to finish up eating, and then we're going to have a small little orientation, introduce everybody.
This is one of my favorite venues to come to all year long, so my wife kind of has to deal with it.
We really get to spend a lot of time working with you guys, building your paintball skills, your character development.
And the big thing for me is you guys made the choice to be here, and that says a lot. It's going to be a very intensive weekend. So again, if you get tired, don't worry about it. Come over, grab one of us, tell us you need a break or whatever it is. Make sure you guys drink a lot of water.
We're out here at the BKI Summer Camp. This is a 4-day long event where we go over everything you need to become a better paintball player. We like to break down each day to work on individual skill sets. So instead of trying to cram everything into 1 weekend of practice, we have a lot of time to really dive into everything as far as fundamentals, strategy, situational awareness, full game planning, absolutely everything.
What's up, guys? Greg Sewers here. Just finished up our warm-ups here at the BKI Summer Camp. We went through a really solid paintball flow to warm up the hips, get those exaggerated movements in our stretch routine, just the way we perform them on the paintball field, so that we can help ourselves stay more motivated, stay loose, and build up some blood in the muscles to make them bigger, because the bigger it is, the more power it has. Then we got into some sprint techniques, so we really helped the guys learn how to accelerate without their gear, so now we're gonna have a chance to see them do it in gear with a little bit of pressure as we move into these drills.
So today, we're gonna be spending the whole day working on individual.
So we are back here, game in progress at the ICPL, the Sunshine Classic, the first event of the 2020 season. I'm Matty Marshall, got Tom Cole, president of the NXL, and right now is the Slimeballs taking on the X-Men. So Slimeballs are on the left-hand side, and Tom, it looks like, again, you know, the battle is going to be who takes ground off the break.
I think Slimeballs are on the right hand,
yes,
on the blue side.
Slimeballs on the blue side.
Yep.
X-Men on the left-hand side, but the Slimeballs have better ground. They've taken the tank, and it looks like that's what we're going to continue to see. We saw that at the last event. Who's going to battle for that position off, you know, near the start of the game?
It does. X-Men do have a guy in the sub and putting some pressure on the tank, and basically almost half the guns for the Slimeballs have been diverted towards that sub side.
Yeah, have seen, maybe because some people went back and watched how Aftershock dismantled the teams they played, but it does look like a lot of guns are shooting towards that sub side to start the battles this morning.
Right. Yeah, because it really was Aftershock that came through the sub side the strongest.
Yeah.
And started dismantling.
Yeah, they were getting Davey Simmons into that sub. He was getting up into that triangle, shooting lots of bodies from that spot. And so it looks like some teams have done their homework. Obviously, the tank is very potent. Getting a guy up there early is key because he can use that just like any forward 50-yard line big center bunker. You can use that as a great gunfighting spot to stop the attack of your opponents on whichever side you want to put your gun. And it does look like most people are putting their guns towards that sub side, but it looks like the X-Men did take some ground over there because that player in the tank is literally laying down on his stomach right now, and now he's
taking heat.
Yeah, he's taking heat from both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took words right out of my mouth. Yeah, he
that
got
tank
down.
is a solid spot. If you're taking heat from both sides, you got trouble.
If you're laying down on your stomach in the tank, yes, you've got some trouble in there.
Yeah, something is going on.
Yeah, the refs coming and checking him out. He definitely was taking some heat in that position, and the refs giving a little thorough thrice over to see if he's clean. It looks like he is, though, so he's able to live through that, but he's going to go back onto his stomach. And right now you can see here from the red side of the field, that red start station, the left-hand side, the slime balls here with good cross-field spread, but really worrying about that tank. But like we're talking about, Tom, getting those good cross-field shots on that tank to kind of neutralize the pressure that he's able to put on. Now a big move from the slime balls. Slime balls diving right into Snake 1.
So they take Snake 1 and lose a body at the same time, so it's a good little trade there. They really needed to get something in there to help the tank guy out.
That is, yes, that's a good point. With this guy getting up into this position is going to take some pressure off of his teammate at the tank. And then that guy can go back to doing what he's supposed to be doing, which is standing up on his feet and trying to gunfight from that position.
X-Men just dropped a body here in the back, but it got filled right away. What's interesting, and we don't see a lot of, like, I think you guys, sweet spots, Klansky. We used to call it Klansky. You guys call it sweet spots. That's where the whole team kind of really works one position, mainly at the same time, trying to just wear it out and put so much pain on it that the guy just couldn't live from all angles. You don't see a lot of that anymore.
Well, that kind of goes to the conversation you and I were having before we went live this morning. I had a guy, I think it was from the Royal City Sea Dogs, when I was walking the Woods ball field yesterday, he asked me, he's like, Matty, what do you think the level of play is from the Woods now to the Woods during its heyday? And my answer was, I think that the technical skills that player to player, being able to shoot left-handed, being able to run and shoot, is higher than it was back then, just from every level. But the tactics, as it looks like Slimeball is going to be losing that body, a tank player, but the tactics, because that's what you're talking about. So your whatever call it is, sweet spot, this, or whatever call you have, yeah, you used to have the ability to, a guy heard that, and then everyone knows which position to shoot. So you have 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 guns all now shooting at one guy. So just little things here or there. So I think that because
the teamwork,
the strategy, the overall
strategy,
walking, yes, that's the type of stuff that, because we just played paintball in the woods back in the day, now there's so many different formats to play. So I think that the strategy is still evolving, but the skill-wise, player to player, is better than it was back then.
Yeah, they're definitely better shots and better at all that, but they definitely, I would say crawling, sweet spotting, and those type of skills are kind of gone. But the gun skills are incredible. The bunkering skills, I mean, if you watch a video of us trying to bunker each other back in the day.
And just in game management. Like, look at the old school Ironman we just watched.
Right.
Masterful performance. They got some spots. They shot lanes. They got a kill early. They neutralized the snake. They won some gunfights. They made smart moves up the field. They did exactly what you're supposed to do to win a 10-man game out here. And it was just perfectly executed. And that's a team with dudes in their 50s and their sons.
Yep.
You know?
Dudes in their 50s and their sons.
Yeah, and Dave Haber, who, again, is one of my favorite guys to watch. So we'll see how things progress. I mean, we're just getting things kicked off here. Another move being made now, and this one into the snake for the slime balls, but looks like he might have caught one on his pod diving in. This trench is treacherous. You have to be very careful when you make your move into this spot, because lots of guys can shoot at this position.
And it helps if you're skinny.
The skinnier the better.
The skinnier the better.
I'm not as skinny as I used to be.
Yep. They complained the trench wasn't big enough before for Bruno to get into. It wasn't deep enough. Bellying out outlasting. But yeah, paintballs will definitely come at a perfect arc over top of that little mound.
But I do like how you guys added a few more spots over here. So yeah, I mean, the trench is still treacherous. You don't have a high berm to work with. It's not super deep, but it can be very effective. But you guys did add a couple different bunkers over here.
Coming up out of the snake is all over this guy. Yeah. Yep, there he goes. Yep, that was just a matter of time. Just a matter of time.
A body for the X-Men coming out from that center. So slowly but surely the slime balls filtering up the field, trying to win this battle of attrition here. Both teams have lost bodies, but still better field position currently for the Slime Balls as they have this body at the 50-yard line in the snake. Oh, but the Slime Ball is losing another body, this time from the backfield, from the very back spot in the center.
The X-Men have always been strong on that sub side.
Time ticking off this clock, 3 minutes and 20 seconds to work with. These teams have 12 minutes in regulation time, up from 10. Really like that change as well. Just a couple more minutes for teams to put those strategies together. Not have to run reckless into guns.
Wow.
Still going to see a lot of that.
Definitely want some stuff to happen.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
The snake player, though, if he pops over the top, is going to have a real easy cross-field shot on that X-Men player.
Yeah, he just shot that guy out of there, and that guy refilled it, and then now is playing it about twice as big as he was playing it before.
He needs to get way tighter. So he's going to...
But he made the move just in time, too. Just that snake guy was coming up to get the kill. He made the move, and now he's out of view. That was some good timing.
This snake player, some lucky timing.
Lucky timing,
This snake player, his eyes must have got saucer plate wide because he was about to get the most glorious free kill of the day so far, but the X-Men had made that move up into the center at the exact moment, so he was forced to switch his gun to that guy, missed that shot, and now he's trying to find a way to create a shot on that guy for the X-Men, who is still just way out of his bunker. Now the X-Men player is actually starting to put some pressure here on the snake side, which is what he should have been doing as soon as he got into that spot.
Yeah, the X-Men guys are definitely wanting to win this game. They're definitely making a bunch of moves. They are not going to give this up.
Yeah, 2 minutes left to go here, but
give them some points on that one.
Yeah, the thorn in the X-Men side is this player for the Slime Balls at the 50.
And the Slime Balls have doubled this Rolly up. I think he's low on paint because he just stole a pod from his buddy. But there's still 4 of these Slime Balls alive. And even if they shoot the sub-side back Slime Ball guy, they're still going to have a hard time getting past this doubled up Rolly. So I feel like we have another stalemate in the action here.
Yeah, I also agree with you, Tom. I think that we could see another stalemate here. Just a minute and 32 seconds left. The teams are making moves.
X-Men are definitely coming.
Yeah, they're making moves. He goes to try to
bunker the snake out, or the tank out that was already gone.
Yeah, air bunkered the tank, but stayed alive.
Yep. But once again, you got to get X-Men are coming, right? They're not going to let this game go down.
Yeah, again, if you take a stalemate in the prelims, it's essentially a loss. So if you have a tie and it's, you shoot 6 of them, they shoot 6 of you. It doesn't really matter. You want to get these. You have to get that flagpole, get that flag hang, as many of them as possible if you want to try to move on to Sunday. So currently, same situation here.
Wow.
With under a minute to go.
X-Men's coming. X-Men is making the move. Look at this move. Oh my God. Go X-Men.
Longest bunker move
ever.
That guy ran a good 30, 40 yards. Then they lose another body, though, so the X-Men have lost 2.
X-Men are coming, right?
The X-Men are, hey, I'll tip my hat to them. They are playing aggressive. They want to try to win this game. They're rolling the dice out there.
And now they're down bodies and still attacking, so maybe it's even.
Well, they have a body still at the tank. They also have another body on that
and they have a body at the roller.
But they've lost 2 over there, so as far as body count is concerned, yes, they are throwing a couple bodies away, but the tournament is still young. There's still lots of games to play here. The X-Men are trying to play aggressive to close this out, but I do think we are going to see a stalemate here, and then maybe another kill.
X-Men's tank guy is going to be gone.
Yeah, that's a nice kill here from the snake on the tank, because the tank was playing reckless.
Oh, look at X-Men. Look at X-Men making the move up the sub side.
Well, he got the kill on the back corner, and now he's
but there's a guy at the sub. There's 2 guys at the sub.
But the guy at the sub is at least protecting that and not allowing the X-Men player to go all the way down that side of the field. So, hey, again, good job, X-Men. Nice
props to X-Men.
Yes.
Yeah,
nice aggressive play. It was fun to watch. We appreciate it. But the Slime Balls did hold, and we do have another stalemate out here on a field where I feel like we didn't see a ton of stalemates on this field. But maybe that extra 2 minutes gives some time to pit. But it's 10 minutes.
We had 10 minutes. We had 12 minutes here last time.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah, last year we only had 10 minutes at the first event in Chicago, so we went 12 after that.
That's why
but it's also early in the morning, right? People are playing slow. It's cold. No, first event of the season. No one wants to come up with a big loss.
Yeah, well, if I'm headed to Florida, I'll take this weather over
over 85, New York or Minnesota.
Yeah, or also take it over your standard Florida weather,
yeah,
which is normally hot and humid.
Yeah,
which doesn't exactly do wonders for your paint. Then you have to be way more. When it's like this, you can just leave the paint out in the air.
This is actually perfect paintball weather.
Yeah, it is.
A little chilly in the morning.
Yeah, it's going to be 67-ish today, right around there is what it said. So
and sunny. It's beautiful. Blue skies the whole way. We got a little lucky. You can get some rain in Florida this time of year, and it's cold. We were here building fields a couple days ahead of time, and it was chilly.
Yeah. So that game is done. Stalemate.
And we got Docs versus Shock now. Is that what we got coming?
Yeah. So Docs Warriors are going to be taking
on the
on
red side.
Yeah, they're going to be taking on Chicago Aftershock. So the Warriors, they won the amateur division here a few months ago. Moved up, new pro team in the 10-man division.
And now they're playing the team that won the pro division last year.
Yep, so this could be an interesting matchup. And also a few changes to Chicago Aftershock's lineup. They picked up Shane Pistana, legend in the game. He was an old Ironman.
Old school Ironman. He really should be playing with the Ironman, not to pick on him.
Yeah, I was going to ask him about that. Even though it's different, because if the 3 big teams back in the day were the Ironman, the All-Americans, and Aftershock, and everyone was kind of the enemy, you know? So we'll see who's going to win this one here coming up, as we just a few minutes away from the start of this next game between Chicago Aftershock. Here we go. Chicago Aftershock's going to be going from the blue side. So, yeah, they picked up Shane. They still have Davey Simmons on the squad, Meter Niños. No Mikey Bruno here. They got Danny Tiljak. So, pretty much, essentially, Todd Adamson. It's pretty much the same team. Actually, Todd might be playing for the All-Americans, but it's essentially...
No, Todd's here. Todd's with Aftershock.
Okay, all right.
He plays with, I think, the All-Americans on a 5-man.
That's what it was. I saw him in an All-American jersey.
I'm surprised they even let him back
yesterday.
after that to Aftershock.
So, yeah, right. But that was the thing. So Shane playing for Shock is not the same as Shane playing for the All-Americans. Now, that would be sacrilegious.
That would be sacrilegious.
As much as I respect the All-Americans for what they've achieved, if you're a California guy and you grew up on the Ironman, it would be a little sacrilegious for you to play for them.
What?
Unless your name's Daryl Trent. And then that's a little different story.
Still
but Daryl Trent does have an Ironman tattoo on his body.
I always thought that was weird. I think he got it right before he went to the All-Americans.
Yeah. Well, that was more of a business decision for him. So it worked out, but still. So Chicago Aftershock taking on Docs Warriors.
How long did he play for the All-Americans?
A while. At least like 3 or 4 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the All-Americans are always really good at picking up some good people.
So here we go, 12 minutes on the clock. Chicago Aftershock taking on the Warriors, and it looks like they're going to sprint Davey Simmons real far over on that sub side.
Oh, wow, and Aftershock dropping a body right on the break.
Oh, they lose Meter Niños.
They lost Meter.
Huge kill for the
Kill,
Warriors.
yeah.
But
Meter, they shot the tank guy.
So Chicago Aftershock able to get the kill on the Warriors player, trying to run up to that 50-yard line tank. So it's 9-on-9, even on the body count.
Most teams send like a little ninja to the tank. The Docs Warriors send a very tall guy to the tank.
The tank's pretty big.
Tank is big.
It's pretty big. It's a good blocker. I mean, we saw Dave Baines getting up there.
That's true. But he
Cat
got up there on
Factory.
a second. He didn't go there on the break.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, look at this, though. Looks like...
Uh-oh, they got... Yeah.
Who is that? Oh, it's... yeah, Dan Holiday playing for Chicago Aftershock, as he's a local Florida guy. Tampa Bay Damage. Long time in the game, former world champ, but lost a gunfight here.
And on a key spot. That tree is becoming a key spot.
Yeah, it's a tough death for Dan Holiday, so they're going to have to refill this spot eventually, and that does give the Warriors a one-body advantage. And like you said, Tom, that is a really key spot. You're really far up here on this side. That's got to try to stay alive in that position.
There's a lot of bodies to refill yet still.
Yeah, game is young, lots of bodies out there.
So, and that's one of the interesting things. You'll see the teams, as they go through this transition, they'll sit some of their old school guys to bring in these the new players, and the new players won't do as well. And they, you know what I mean? And so like right there, they just dropped 2 of their little speedball killers, we'll call them, you know, their little ninjas. And then now you're gonna have to send in some big back guys.
Speaking of big back guys, Danny Tiljak.
Danny Tiljak, yeah.
He's a very, very big dude.
Who plays way above his skill level. If he was, I mean, plays way above. If he was 5'4" and super small, he'd be the best player on the planet. You know what I mean? Like he plays like a little guy now.
Well, he used to be a skinnier guy, but then he got really into bodybuilding, and now he's a giant. He's always been tall, but remember he used to be when he was first coming up. I mean, he was younger, but Danny Tiljak was so good. He was like a, you know, like a different, kind of had the same swagger as like a John Richardson.
Wow, look
the way
at
he played the
taking
game.
the snake.
So yeah, Danny's at the he's at the sub right now, or at the roller here in the center of the field. And the Warriors have now got in the good move.
The snake,
into
yeah,
snake
great
one.
move. That's why I was saying that tree's clutch. Remember earlier when the guy tried to get in the snake in the 50, the tree guy just ate him up, but now.
So we're looking at the
Tiljak Tiljack's going to go in here and get the snake in a minute.
So we're looking at the crossfield spread currently here on your screen for Chicago Aftershock. So still have all the back spots. Not much forward progression with those couple deaths for Shock.
Uh-oh.
But they still have a good crossfield spread, and they are trying to make moves in this center. Danny Love, one of the best autococker gunsmiths on planet Earth, who makes all these guns out here. Shock Tech. And then there goes a move. I think that might be Shane.
Oh, yep, but here comes, that looks like, is that Rennick walking off?
Yeah, I think so.
Rennick, looks like Rennick walking off. So now the Docs Warriors have a 2-body advantage. This would make me giggle if Docs Warriors beat the reigning champions.
Yeah, coming up from amateur.
Coming up from amateur.
Yeah, coming up for amateur. So right now, a couple bad deaths here for Chicago Aftershock has put them in a body hole. So they're down a couple bodies. Looked like they were going to lose another one on that sub side, but referee went and checked him out, and he's clean. Docs has taken a little bit of ground. They're in snake 1. They're eventually going to want to try to retake that the tank in the center, as they lost their first body, but now they lose a gunfight too. So Chicago Aftershock, it might have been Danny Tiljack just getting that crossfield kill.
Where'd he come out of? Oh, the back left. There,
back,
back.
Yeah, back on the sub side.
Back on the sub side.
So still some time to work with. 8 minutes on the clock.
He's over the top, looking to make a move.
A little bit closer as we move over. Here you can see they're at the turret. I think that is.
They just shot the anti-aircraft gun guy out, or whatever you call that piece back there. Danny Tiljack.
The gun turret.
The gun turret.
Yeah, Danny Tiljack's doing some work right now, because I think he got that other kill too. So this is looking real good here for Shock. They've just ate a couple bodies up, and now it looks like another body's coming out for the Warriors. And
just made it an even body, and they just shot the snake guy out.
Yeah, so that one came from cross field, but then now Shock is going to lose that body on the sub side. So trading bodies back and forth, but Shock's starting to take some ground. They have a body at the 40-yard line on the sub side. Danny Tiljack just got into the snake, and he's going to crawl up into the 50. He played this side very well. He was in Chicago playing through a hamstring pull. It was pretty brutal, so good to see him healthy.
Danny making the big move
Oh,
up center,
but Danny
Love is
clipped in his goggles, trying to get in, take some ground, and get that tank. So Docs Warriors crossing it up here, picking off Danny Love. And they also lose another body from that sub side as well, too. I think that's Shaner walking off. So it is definitely a war of attrition here. Bodies have dropped for both squads. However, Aftershock has better field position. Now Danny Love's going to try to get kill on the center, and it looks like he does. So that's a beautiful, I think that might be Danny Tiljack's third kill.
Yeah.
Danny's having a game. There goes Davey Simmons getting into a spot. Yeah, so Davey Simmons was the MVP for Chicago Aftershock at their win here a few months ago. And he did it from exactly
squirrely,
from the position he's in right now. He would get into that triangle over there and start just chalking up kills. Or he'd be pushing on the sub side as well. But just
he's
in general,
a little bit of a
lights
disadvantage
out.
this time because he doesn't have a back guy. Ooh, is this Malashevsky?
Yeah, Richie.
That looks like a Malashevsky.
Yeah,
Yep.
Richie Malashevsky.
I can just tell by the way they run. Looks like a Malashevsky.
Yeah,
he's up in there.
Yeah, you got to kind of root for them too, right? I mean, aren't they Maryland boys as well?
Malashevsky's, yeah, they were kind of they were image guys. But actually, we picked up Malashevsky. Malashevsky played for Bad Company for about a little bit of a season.
A counter move here from the Warriors to get a body in behind on the back of this trench. And now he's going to try to cut the inside and get a shot on Danny Tiljack.
Yeah, but he was dead.
So Danny is trying to ask the referee to wipe him off here, and we might see a penalty potentially assessed. Richie was able to now get his gun up, and he's shooting across field.
He's hitting the pack. Richie is hitting the butt.
Yeah, he definitely has what looks like maybe a hit on his pack, but Danny's going to come off, and here comes Mike Paxton. Paxton's still alive. Richie trying to clean things out from the snake side. Mike now going to get in the snake as well.
Brutal, too, to have wearing you out in the back corner.
Yeah. Richie Malashevsky, quite a paintball legend. I mean, yeah, he was, played on image, but I really truly feel he was the inventor of the modern run-through. When we played him in the finals in Boston, he ran through and shot 8 of us, 8 out of 10 in a finals game. People were like, that's possible? You can do that? Yeah. All right, and then everyone started to try to do that from then on.
He was definitely always the run-through guy. Yeah, he's like a little ninja.
So Mike and Richie and Davey trying to close this game out here with Todd Adamson. So that's a good close from Chicago Aftershock.
Yeah, that was a good close. They were on the rocks there for a minute. They were definitely on the rocks.
Danny did a lot of work for them, Danny Tiljack.
Yes, he did. Yep, and then now Richie looks like he's got a glory, and Danny did all the work.
And they're going to give it, and then they all give it to Davey. All right, little speed demon. Here you go. Run the flag back.
That was a good game. That was a really good game.
Yeah, so they still had 4 minutes and 30 seconds left, but they were able to get the win. That was a good, clean close.
Yeah.
They lost some bodies in the middle of that game. Both teams lost some bodies, but the veterans on Chicago Aftershock tightened it up. Definitely got to give Danny Tiljack his props because he did some work. He got a couple kills, got into that snake, and then the Warriors had to sacrifice a body to try to come and get him out of there. But Richie had already put himself in a good position, and Mike was playing great behind him as well. And then Davey Simmons again, just playing so well. So Chicago Aftershock, the winners from Florida, our last event here in Florida, looking pretty good here in this first match. So thank you guys again for joining us at the 2020 ICPL Sunshine Classic. I'm Matty Marshall, going to have Tom Cole, the president of the NXL, up here with me all weekend long, talking about this 10-man battles going down here on this hybrid field. So just one of 3 fields out here. Got a deep woods field and also a hyperball field. So
that's good for Docs. That result's good for Docs. When you make that move up like that, that's a big move. And for them to do so well against the champion over there, that gives me hopes for them. I think they'll do well this event.
I think so too. They need to obviously tighten it up slightly, but
yeah, because they played position-wise well. I feel like their snake guy needed to be a bigger force there when he got in there. He needed to get up into that 50 and do some damage.
Absolutely.
You know, Tiljack showed him how to do it, right? He needed to do what Tiljack did to them as soon as he got in there.
So we now have the Saints taking on Doc's Warriors Black, and then we're going to have the Saber Wolves and Cap Factory. That's going to be a fun game to watch.
Oh my God, Saber Wolves versus Cap Factory.
That's on deck, because Cap Factory looked really good in their first game against Annapolis A team, and they got a pretty easy win.
Saber Wolves did not look that good.
Yeah, Saber Wolves played Doc's Warriors in their first match. Saber Wolves, one of the best 10-man teams out here, really another team that kind of helped the 10-man revival. So it's been cool to see them perform at a high level. Definitely, one of those teams that they could win this thing.
Oh, they could easily win this thing.
So, and Cap Factory, with the squad they have and how they played that first game, they
should
also
be winning these things.
Yeah, right.
Should be winning these things.
Yeah, they're stacked up again. So,
I mean, I would just like to, at some point in time, count like championship wins on teams, right? They got to have, I guess, Aftershock's got quite a few too. If you start talking to Poopy and Richie and
and different types of wins
and Paxton, and you know what I mean, like
but wins in different formats as well. Yeah, but when you have guys, I mean, Paxton will play any type of paintball, one-on-one, pump guns, mechanical, machine gun. It doesn't matter. He'll ride in a tank.
Beat some kids up at Nerf.
Yeah,
if he's shooting somebody, he's doing it
for sure. So, but before we get into
Squirrels, kids, Ironman.
Yeah, well, he's actually doing fishing and hunting guide up in Montana now.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to go on an amazing Montana adventure,
when we talk
he's your guy.
Off paintball, we very rarely talk about paintball. We talk about some type of hunting, fishing, animal thing.
Yeah, because you're another guy that a lot of people don't know this about you, but Tom Cole likes to take these crazy adventures, which, we got some time this weekend to talk about. I definitely, because Tom got bit by a snake last year. I want you to tell people that story. That was crazy. I'm glad you're still alive.
I'm glad to still be alive, too.
So here we go. So it looks like taking a little bit of ground, both squads, but better field position here for the Saints.
Doc's Warriors just dropped a guy. Well, I have 2 Bad Company guys, former Bad Company guys playing for the Saints. We call them the Hillbillies.
Well, the Saints have taken, again, good field position. They have that tank. So that's going to be the big question at the start of these matches, is who is going to risk that body up into the tank. Most of the players that have made it up there have made it clean. We have seen a couple guys get shot trying to make it in there, and we've seen quite a few guys die while they're there.
Coming for it? I don't know if he's going to go all the way around or what was going to happen.
He decided to stop and just take that position, so he didn't come around and bunker that guy out yet. So both teams have a body at that tank, and another body's going to be dropping for Doc's Warriors, and so that's a couple early deaths for them to start this match out.
This might be the first time we've had 2 bodies at the tank.
This is the first time we've had 2 bodies at the tank. The running referee, though, there goes a body dropping for the Saints. The referee is in there checking out the tank for the Warriors, and then looks like the Saints are just going to run through on him while he was getting checked and take him out of there. So no one in the tank.
Best time to go.
Yeah, right. He got a blocker, too.
Yeah, got a blocker. They're making some big moves up here on this ditch side.
Yeah, the Saints able to get a body here, not quite in the trench, but he's almost there. Now they're going to make a move into Snake 1. So some good secondaries repositioning for the Saints after the chaos that just happened in the center. There goes another kill. Here, the Saints are starting to chew up Doc's Warriors. They are just losing bodies all over the place. And I didn't see a penalty thrown, so it looks like those are just legit gunfight wins. So now
Doc's, oh yeah, no. So they have the snake.
Yeah, Snake's hot, 50 Snake for the Saints. They're gonna retake the tank, and he's gonna look towards this Snake side. Some tactical retreats and repositioning here for the Warriors is try to get into that back center. And
I don't know what fire on the hole means, but everybody on the Saints is yelling that.
Yeah, the Saints are dominating right now. They've lost a couple bodies themselves, but they're in most of the good positions. The player is gonna hit the deck and crawl up on this trench side and get to the 50-yard line. They already have the 50-yard line Snake. They still have the tank. They have a couple more bodies.
Yeah, now they're up into here. Yeah, this is... What's interesting, even when they lost the bodies, they almost seemed like they knew they would lose those bodies, and someone was right there to make it, to pick up the slack.
Yeah, that's when the team's playing well.
Yeah.
If you lose a body, a guy can reposition and take over that attack. I mean, you have, this is 10 on 10. There's lots of bodies to work with out here. Just because you drop a body or two, that doesn't mean you're out of it. You have the ability to fight back, so... And because they were so close, I mean, you can really the Saints they're kind of dialed in. I mean, they look really good. They look like they really walked this field, and they knew their angles. They're winning gunfights. They're taking these key spots. Now trying to close, and I mean, he knew exactly where the shot was. He knew there was a body in that back center, and then he's going to communicate properly and tell his teammates that guy's on him now. Oh, might have just didn't drop that shot in on him yet. But he doesn't really even need to. I mean, he could just show the spot.
This is what we were talking about the points early, just playing control and kind of earning this stuff and making it happen, you know.
Yeah, so they're yelling kill 8. They have all the ground. They have a ton of time to work with. Still 8 minutes and 27 seconds left. And as you can see here, our eye in the sky as we push over. This is our cable cam, the new addition here for 2020 here for Go Sports, is it zooms over the player for the Saints as he's at that tank, and then now we're going to see these last couple bodies left alive. And you can see there's really no one left alive much at all for the Doc's Warriors. They still have that body in the back center. Is it kill 8 or 9?
Well, this is kill 9. I see him calling him out,
I was gonna say, that guy just died from the back center here, so the Saints are going to put the finishing touches on this one.
I don't even know where another Doc's is, yeah.
One of the better performances that we've seen out here. Yeah, this is an amateur division, but the Saints looked really good in this one.
Yeah, well, we got Adam Smith right there from Bad Company and playing a back spot. I always sling that dude way to the front.
Yeah, he's just showing off his versatility.
Yeah, he's going to be asking for a back spot next time.
It's going to be like, Tom, I do not want to run up into that trench, so if just let me play this back corner, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So this game coming up next is going to be a good one here. So it's Cap Factory taking on the Saber Wolves. Two of the favorites out here.
Yeah, definitely. This is definitely a new school classic versus old school classic.
Yeah. So who do you got in this one?
I'm going to have to say Cap after watching that other game. I think Cap's probably going to take this.
I have to, so I don't have Roy Richard punch me in the parking lot. I have to take Cap as well, too. But I am a big fan of the Saber Wolves. Great guys. Love how they play the game.
Amazing players, yep.
Yeah, good.
It's really going to come down to if Cap gets a couple kills early, they're just going to roll them. If Saber Wolves can get a couple kills, because Cap's going to play more aggressive and sloppier, I would say, than the Saber Wolves. Saber Wolves are going to play good straight paintball. If they can get a couple kills, I think they'll put it together.
Well, I would have to say, if we were kind of going down a checklist of different assets that those teams have, aggression you would have to check off for Cap Factory. They have top-level current pros on that squad. They have some legends out there as well, too. Some guys that are masterminds at the tactical side of this game. But if I would have to go to, teamwork, survivability, I got to give that edge to the Saber Wolves.
Yeah, Saber Wolves are technically probably one of the better teams here as far as teamwork and how they work together. What they're really lacking right now, in my opinion, is a suicide attack at the end. Right? They don't close some games that they need to close, and they don't have the do or die mentality in a game that they got to win.
But they're a team that loves playing this format. They've been at all these 10-mans, and they keep getting better, too. So it would not shock me at all if the Saber Wolves won this tournament.
And, and everybody thinks they play together a lot and practice a lot. Apparently, they do not. But they have a really good chemistry.
Yeah.
And so it just makes them look like they're together all the time. Play great.
It was also kind of cool, too, to see, and again, we talk a lot about what does 10-man mean for the sport of paintball. Everyone's always talking about, grow paintball this, grow paintball that, but I really truly believe that having a thriving 10-man scene will help grow the sport, because I keep seeing dads out here with their sons, dads out here with their daughters, wives walking around the parking lot, wives playing. It's a good transition thing, but then even going the other way as well, too. So the Saber Wolves were super excited to come to World Cup and play X-Ball format. And I remember seeing them they were looking around at how big that event was, and I talked to them quite a bit, actually, and about the field layout that they were about to play, but they were all smiles. They're like, yeah, we know we're pretty decent at the 10-man thing, but we figured we'd come give this X-Ball thing a chance.
Yeah, they were funny because they said, we want all of them to come try the classic format, so we figured we would come play their format. And I think they played X-Ball in 2003.
Yeah, it had been a long
time.
Yeah, it had been a dog's lifetime since since any of those guys have played.
But it's funny, they the biggest thing I get mostly from the classic players is they want to replace X-Ball with classic, and this is really all they see is the classic format. No one really understands how big World Cup is.
Yeah, so you come and see it, you're like, oh my God.
I told the Saber Wolves, I said, before you guys leave, I'm going to take you up in the VIP for the finals, and let me show you, this is paintball also. And and they were pretty impressed, the grandstands there are full, there's a VIP that's the size of the entire pro field that's completely full, standing room only. It's a pretty powerful, World Cup is a beast of its own for sure.
Yeah, well, you guys did a great job with it. And it's one of the reasons glad we have you up here a bunch, so I do want to talk about the 2020 season and what's going on with the NXL. But we got this.
Saber Wolves coming from the red side.
Yeah, Saber Wolves on the left.
Coming from the blue side.
Saber Wolves on the left, Cat Factory on the right, and it looks like a little bit better, tiny bit better field position in the center here for Cat Factory.
Saber Wolves took the tank on the break.
Did they?
Yeah, Saber Wolves took the tank, yeah.
So the Saber Wolves are in the tank, and he is looking towards this snake entrenched side of the field. And he's going to try to stop the push from the damage players that Cat Factory picked up to play this event. But I think Brandon Lambertson is in pretty good field position to potentially, he's the guy in that center that could go run through and take out some former teammate of mine from my old Ironman days.
Yeah, I feel like he's in a position to just bayonet the tank out.
And he's thinking about it. As soon as they find out that he's there, he's probably going to go, knowing Brandon, he'll probably at least, yeah, here he goes.
He's going, he went in there.
So they're screaming tank. They're trying to let him know that he's in there.
Yeah, but no, that's Saber Wolves yelling tank.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if Cat Factory is aware that the Saber Wolves took the tank off the break. I mean, that's kind of because this has been kind of the norm. That's the strategy in the beginning of the game. Get somebody in the tank. You almost want to treat it like it's hot until you know it's not.
Sure, like the W used to be.
Yes. Like expect that there will be somebody there until you're told that there is nobody in that spot. Might be Roy. I'm not sure if that's Brandon, but whoever it is for Cat Factory is up in that center. He's in a really good spot. Roy Richard played with Dynasty during their win at the Iron City Classic. And it looks like he's going to come around. And he's going to get that kill. And he's going to go through. He's going to get 2. And does he get 3? What an amazing move here up the center of the field. And he's looking over and begging for those guys to come off. I think that might have been.
And then Glenn Forrester fills right back in on the tank.
Yeah, that was a beautiful counter move here, or a secondary move from Glenn Forrester. But what an awesome run through here for Cat Factory as multiple bodies are coming off. No one was watching that lane. That's a big tactical error there from the Saber Wolves to not protect that player at the tank.
Especially when everybody yelled the tank was hot.
Yeah, it's not like they weren't screaming, hey, tank. The Saber Wolves had the communication. They just dropped the ball on the zone control. But that's a good thing here for Cat Factory. As now the boys from Tampa Bay Damage, Chad Bougier and Jacob Edwards.
They just filled this tree. Chad just filled the tree.
So Clutch. So Chad's in a good spot. Jacob's squeezing out his barrel right now. Tim is in a good position with him as well over here. And Dave Baines is behind Glenn Forrester in the center. So it's looking really good for Cat Factory. Saber Wolves are playing on their heels currently with that big move up in the center.
Okay, my Cap's only up 1 body.
Yeah, only
one body.
yeah, it's
position-wise. Yes. Tactically, they're up ahead. Yeah. But but overall up just one body.
Yeah, the body position, the position on the field indicates that they have made the better moves. But yes, the game is not out of hand for the Saber Wolves, but they really need to tighten things up, protect their bodies, and try to win some gunfights here.
They need to eliminate the tank player.
Yeah, if they could shoot Glenn, that would be huge. Glenn's the biggest thorn in the Saber Wolves side right now, up at that 50-yard line tank. Now, Cap Factory is up and on their feet, and they're looking like everyone wants to make a move. As you look across the field at these Cap Factory guys, everyone's on their feet. Right now, we're looking at the Saber Wolves trying to hold off this attack from Cap Factory. Here on your screen as the referees are checking some of them out, but you can see how close and tight these guys are to their spots. Cap Factory is all up on their feet. They're all looking out. They're all rolling their guns. Everyone looks like they want to make a move, and that means the Saber Wolves aren't putting enough pressure on these Cap Factory players. And sure enough, there goes Chad Bougier. He gets into the
Saber Wolves just backed up a guy.
And here comes a big fill out wide. Here goes Jason Edwards. Jason is looking pretty fast.
Yes,
Wow,
he
he must have been doing some wind sprints here in the offseason. But he gets out behind his teammates here, so good position for everyone on Cap Factory. And here goes another move for Cap Factory. They dive up on that sub side of the field, taking some ground over there, getting to that 40-yard line. Glenn Forster still alive at the tank.
Yep, there goes Forrester. Forrester died right when you said that. You got the announcer curse right there.
Commentator curse.
Commentator curse.
Have you got a commentator curse yet?
I did. That's when I found out the term. I had no idea what you were talking about. And I said something, and sure enough, the guy died. And you were like, commentator curse. So.
Yeah, sorry, Glenn.
So Glenn's played 2 games, has been to the tank twice, and died both times. So
Glenn does need to tighten it up a little bit. But he did, hey, they're still looking good. Here goes Chad Bougier. Chad Bougier is going to get into the trench and get to the 50-yard line. But we talked about what do the Saber Wolves need to do right now? Well, they need to tighten it up, and they need to win some gunfights. Oh, free kill for Chad Bougier. Yeah. Chad Bougier might be getting another one. He's begging the ref to go in there and check that player's leg.
And now we got Dave Baines filling in, tank.
And then here comes Jacob Edwards. He's going to get into the snake. And then here comes Tim Montressor, and he's going to filter up to the 50 as well, too. So beautiful job and some counter moves off of, or some secondary moves here off the Chad Bougier move into the trench where he got that nice kill. Chad Bougier looking good here, so is his teammates on Cap Factory. There's another kill for Chad. Yeah, the Saber Wolves are just starting to fold here. Still have a couple bodies left alive.
Well, I mean, you take a team like Cap with so much experience on their team, they will pick apart a defense if you let them just stand on their feet and figure out all the lanes.
Tim is past the 50-yard line, but he gets clipped out, but another body from the Saber Wolves comes off. Still 6:20 left to go, but I don't think we're going to see this one go to time, as feasting on some kills so far, but losing just a couple bodies in this push, but still stacking things up at this 50. Chad Bougier might have got another one. Looks like Jacob Edwards is going to get checked out by our head referee as Aaron dives in there with him. Jacob shooting that crossfield shot. Chad's trying to find a way from this position to try to produce some kills. He's getting very creative with the angles that he's looking at and the angles that he's shooting. And now he's going to fully commit. Here goes Chad Bougier. Chad Bougier all the way onto, he slips a little bit and is able to make it clean, though, all the way past the trench. And now he's going to have some great angles on these last couple players. And here comes the push also. The hammer dropping on that D side as Cap Factory is going to sprint Jacob Edwards up the center as well, too. He's trying to find these last bodies, and that is going to do it here for the Saber Wolves. So Cap Factory continuing to look impressive here, Tom.
Yeah, they looked really good there. So I'm going to steal some of Glenn's credit. I think Rodney is the brain.
Okay.
So Glenn gets a lot of the brain credit, but Rodney puts in his work.
Oh, yeah. Rodney Squires is another mastermind paintball tactician. I got a chance to play with Rodney at the, brought my wife out to play paintball for the first time in San Diego to this big game. It was like 300 people at Velocity Paintball Park. It was really fun. But Rodney was out there, and and I played with Rodney on the Ironman for a little bit. Played against him for years on all the different teams that he played on. He's a really good guy, and he's not only is he a great guy to have to do the X's and O's on these 10-man games and walk fields to try to look for positions, because he's literally been playing paintball in the woods since I think the late 80s. But he's also a good guy to work on your guns, too. I used to call him Repairman Rodney.
Yeah, no, he's no joke.
It was actually on his jersey for a little bit. But yeah, because if your gun's not working, sorry, Rodney, but you just take it over to Rodney. He'll probably fix it for you. Doesn't matter what type of gun it is.
No, he's definitely the guy you want on your team.
Yeah, good teammate.
Good teammate.
And except if, he's not a big beer drinker. You know, but he's I keep joking with him because I'm bald and my beard is gray, and he still looks exactly essentially like he did when I met him when he was like 25. Yeah. I'm like, Rodney, how do you do it? He's like, well, you know, man, I'm not a big drinker. I try to stay away from the beer, and I feel like that's how I've been able to, you know, keep my youthful looks for so long. I'm like, well, I love beer, and I went the wrong direction. So, but I can't, you know, beer's too delicious. I think I'm just going to keep rolling with it. So, yeah, Cap Factory, beautiful execution there on the close, and an excellent game here from Chad Bougere. Played great over there. Here on in the trench side. You got some kills, Chad. Nice job. Look good out there.
His jersey says practice.
Well, he apparently has been putting in some practice because it looked like he hasn't missed a beat. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us here. Trying to bring you guys all this action. We got a new cable cam out that we're experimenting with, so bear with us. But yeah, I'm just super excited. Tom, it's always been a dream of mine to do a webcast with a field like this. You know, something that can simulate being a woods ball field and where we can see as much of the action as possible. And I just love what you guys are doing with the ICPL, so keep it up.
Yeah, I got really excited when I saw a field that was kind of open, easy to film, but still had some trees and had some stuff with it that makes it a little more three-dimensional, right? Got some ditches, you got some stuff.
Yeah, it does have a woods ball feel to it. Obviously, again, got a little lucky with the, you know, the oak and the Spanish moss out here to add a canopy that you have to worry about and some trees to work with. But, and I, you know, to be honest, I was also really nervous when we were talking about doing this and for the last event because, you know, I didn't know how much we'd be able to see, what type of field it would look like. But then when I showed up and saw what you guys had done with it, I was like, finally, yes, we're going to be able to film some sort of quasi-hybrid woods ball, hyperball field. And you guys, you know, got a bigger turnout here. It's just, it's growing. The 10-man thing's growing. It's really cool to see, and it's just a great environment, really. It's been awesome. So
it'll be interesting to see when we can finally get a good woods ball filmable field.
It's definitely possible. It's just very problematic from a technical standpoint, which we could do, but it's hard. You know, it's difficult. Visibility is an issue. I mean, that's, you know, it's a longer story, but one of the reasons that paintball went to a hyperball format or airball was to make the sport more visible so people could actually watch the battles that were happening. But it's so fun to play in the woods.
So fun to play. And it's also, I think it's easier for the general public to get involved with it. I mean, the original ESPN show was a woods ball tournament.
So jumping into this next match, amateurs. So we're staggering pros and amateurs. So go pro, amateur, etc. Right now, it is the War Boys taking on the West Coast Sharks. And the Sharks are on the blue side. That's the right-hand side. And the War Boys are on the left-hand side, the red side.
Did the War Boys take the tank there? I just seen a ref. Yeah, they did. They're in the tank.
Yeah, War Boy's in good position here in the tank. And he has his gun now looking towards the sub side. Initially checked off on this trench side. And there is some good forward progression initially here. I mean, this is not an easy spot to get to off the break. Right now, the West Coast Sharks, the Sharks are they're in a good spot. This tree hybrid bunker over here with the hyperball tube strapped to it essentially. I mean, it's a good gunfighting position. You have a really good look down this sideline. You can see the trench in front of you. You can get into the trench from there. But it's hard to take that off the break. It's a long run.
It is a long run. And if they put the guns this way, it's a really long run.
Yeah, but the Sharks are in good position right now. They do have to worry about that tank. And I'm wondering if they know that that body is in the tank. But like we talked about, and we're going to continue to talk about, if you have to treat that bunker, the tank, like it's hot until you know that it's not, because he just has great angles.
And he can get in there without you seeing it.
Exactly.
For sure. And you are not moving to this snake with a guy in a tank looking this way.
So things have died down slightly, and I didn't see any bodies come off for either team, Tom, on the break. So I believe it is a 10 on 10 situation. Just getting things rolling. Lots of time left on the clock.
War Boys just took the sub, or the launch point into the sub.
Yeah, so getting a look at things from the War Boys side of the field. No, sorry, from the Shark side of the field. You can see players in these back spots tightening things up. They are worried about that player in the tank.
Well, tank guy just eliminated the
That's a huge kill.
But that's a huge kill.
Yeah, huge kill. Now there's no one out wide here on this trench side. He knows it too. He's shaking his head. He's in frustration. That's a tough death from that spot. And now they're forced to flood a body out that way. And does he make it clean? It looks like he does. So, but they lose another body from that back center. So now 2 bodies have dropped here for the West Coast Sharks. This guy's walking the wrong way to the deadlocks. I think he just realized it. See, he's so frustrated in his early death that he forgot which side he's supposed to walk to. The dead players have to walk to the dead box, which is behind the start station.
What adds insult to injury, right? You get shot, and you go step out, then you get shot again by accident, and then you walk the wrong way, and it's just an all-around thing. And you had to get up really early because you're from the West Coast.
Yeah, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning
3
for us
o'clock
when
in the
we wake
morning
up.
for him.
It's like, oh, I need my coffee immediately.
Yeah, that's got to be brutal. So the War Boys just lost a guy from the sub side.
So that is a good kill here for the Sharks. So they lost 2, but then they win a gunfight. They still have to worry about that tank. Lottie has been at that tank the entire match so far here for the War Boys. As you can see, our cable cam there is getting a good look at the player. Been there since the very beginning of this match. That tank is makeable. We've only seen, I think, maybe 1 or 2 guys. One guy gets shot. We've seen a couple guys get shot on transition into that spot, but out of all the games we've seen so far this morning, it's been a very makeable spot for big guys, too. The guy that's currently in there right now for the War Boys is a big boy.
Yeah, he is.
Big dude. But
you also saw, like, the cap guy. The cap guy went through there and bunkered a guy and then made it forever past the tank.
That's the best move we've seen out here today.
That's the best move we've seen today.
For sure. So, same situation right now. The Sharks are going to have to find a way to get up the field, and they don't have anyone in position to go bunker out this tank. The closest guy he's 2 bunkers back, essentially still in the backfield. So,
well, and War Boys, we've seen War Boys play this. The War Boys are playing relatively aggressive. I mean, they're now in the sub down there. So you got the tank and the sub. At some point in time, they're just going to start picking these guys apart.
Yeah, War Boys in really good field position right now. If the War Boys could get one of their bodies out of this the lay-down roller over here in more of the middle of the field and get him over to this trench side and get him up the field a bit, that would put the Sharks in a bad position, even though the body count's still relatively close. Looks like the Sharks, I think, lost another body.
So the Sharks, isn't that Pollock's old?
I'm not sure if they're connected, but I think
there was a Sharks, right? Land Sharks was his team back in the day.
Yeah. It's tough sometimes with it's weird.
That's the same area. They're definitely Bay Area.
Yeah, for sure. But maybe. Yeah, O Pollock. It's a name from the blast of the past.
Well, I was.
Didn't you have O on your team?
I did.
Yeah.
O the pro, you know. Yeah. He we used to have a rule. You know, you had to practice twice in this. This is before the glory days, and
looks like another body comes off for the Sharks. Yeah, this isn't too many gunfights, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we used to have mandatory practices twice a month, and he used to fly himself out for the mandatory practice because he wanted to play. I think he was playing with Tour de Force, and they broke up, and he really wanted to play for a pro team, and then he was with us for our win in Pittsburgh. So he came over and won another tournament with us, so he won one with whoever he was with before, and then he won one with us, so he was a good player.
He was a good player. I got a chance to practice with him once. I played against him a bunch, but never really played on the same team, but we had a practice in Vegas one time, and he was a really fun guy.
Yeah, he's good. He lost his mind over people picking on him on the internet. That's really what drove him
away.
Really drove him crazy.
Once the smack talk back
smack
in the day,
talk,
smack talk
people
thing.
used to just be, everybody talks smack, and it really got into his head. Wow, War Boys just make a synchronized move across the board.
Yeah, that's some good repositioning here for the War Boys. Well, they're taking.
So now they have every 50 except for the ditch.
And they're starting to take advantage of this high body situation they have. They've got a couple more kills here, whittled down the bodies for the Sharks. So when those extra bodies come off, those lanes start to get dropped, and now they've made some moves here to take advantage of that. That's sad to hear actually about. Oh, I didn't know that, but if you're going to be doing anything in the public eye in any way, shape, or form, even if it is in a niche industry like paintball, hey, look, man. You really can't worry about that stuff because people are going to talk whatever they want to say, and if you really let it get to yourself, what are you just going to hide in your house and not do anything in life? Like, who cares? People are going to say whatever they're going to say. Do what you're going to do anyway.
Yeah, you got to have pretty thick skin if you're going to be in the limelight.
I talked to Ronnie Dizon, who's been doing all those cool Dizon docs. I don't know if you've had a chance to check it, but when he first started that, a lot of people were, you know, saying stuff to him about that. Oh, who do you think you are? This sort of stuff. And he had talked to me about it. And he actually we did a little thing on one of his earliest things. I'm like, dude, who cares? You know, and obviously he's continued to do it, but he's a world champion. He's one of the best players out there. It's like, dude, Ronnie, you're amazing. Just let the world see how amazing you are, and enough people are going to like it, and who cares about what the haters say? And he was like, absolutely. And he's been doing great, man. I love Ronnie Dizon. He's really good for the sport. So right now, situation similar here. 4:26 on the clock, and a better...
Sharks making some little moves there. They're not going to go down without a little counter attack, but here now they're going to...
Well, this is the move that needed to happen for the War Boys, is they get a body here into the trench, try to get some more, take some more ground on this side of the field, and hopefully if they can crawl their snake play around. He's been in snake 1 for a while now. If he could get to that 50-yard line, it's going to be, you know, better situation, better position for him. It's going to help the team out a little bit. And they do have enough time to close. Now we're under 4 to go. Sharks still with decent amount of bodies left. At least like they have 4 or 5 left here on the field. So War Boys have an opportunity to put this win on the board if they can find a way to close. But it's going to be difficult. They do have 2. The Sharks have 2 bodies at this turret. Not the turret. Well, they have a body at the turret as well. But they have those 2 bodies at the rollers. One looking one way towards the sub side, and the other body looking towards this trench side. So,
yeah, 2 boys at the roll, 2 people at the roller is going to be a hard thing, especially with a guy with the gun turret behind him.
So how are they going to close? They definitely need to get up into that triangle or on that sub side, and they also need to crawl around here, get into this 50-yard line. They need to get into the trench.
They need to come straight through, straight at the sub.
Yeah, the War Boys seem a little tentative to make these next moves up.
Yep. Now there they go right there. But they really need, I mean, you could thread the needle there towards the rolling, keep the rolling between you and those 2 guys, but
yeah, now we're down to 2 minutes and 45 seconds left. And if you're the Sharks in this position,
they're yelling, make the move. They're telling them they need to.
If you're the Sharks, you really just have to try to keep that field spread out wide, stay alive in your spots. You know these guys are going to come at you, chew them up, and then hope you have enough time.
You have enough time to counterattack. Yeah, yeah, because going 4 on all these guys, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah. Well, and also the best players out there in teams, you can take advantage of those moments when a team is starting to attack on you and they expect you to play defense. If you throw a little offense at them, that sometimes can change things up. But now the War Boys doing what they needed to do here by getting this body into the trench. Looks like he has walked this field and feels like he has an angle because he's backed up off that spot a little bit here, and he's going to get some help behind him. They also crawl the 50-yard line snake, so they are starting to get into these positions that they need to be in to try to get these better angles to close this game out. High body situation for the War Boys. They've won some gunfights. They're in good spots now here. 50-yard line in the trench. 50-yard line, snake. The guy's been at that tank the entire game. But when are they going to launch, and what position is it going to start from with 1 minute and 30 left? This is, you know, again, there's no buzzer at your opponent's station. You have to run the length of the field to sprint the flag back, and you're going to need 15, 20 seconds to do that. So they're reaching the point in time. Here goes a desperation run out wide to spread the field, and that is going to be another death here for the Sharks. A little bit of a gift.
Yeah, I don't know if he needed to do that, but the way this roll, he's got this guy pinned down. I mean, look at how much paint he's got on from being inside that bunker.
Yeah, he's covered in it. I never minded that, though, when I'm covered in paint from all the rub, because then I have a really good argument that it's rub. So another player coming off here, but then they're going to lose. So both teams lose a body. The Sharks losing that body from the roller where they were doubled up, but then they were able to get the kill on the trench. Ooh, and they get the kill on the snake as well. So that's probably going to mean a stalemate here, as the last players left alive for both squads don't look like they're going to be going anywhere right now, as we're now down to 30 seconds left. So it looks like we're probably going to have another stalemate out here. So the stalemates have mostly been the amateur games.
Yeah.
Next up will be Armada and, no, sorry, that's Ironman and Annapolis 18 coming up next.
I'm
so
on 18.
Your boys from Maryland.
I gave him a little pep talk on the way out.
Did you tell him how good the Ironman played their first game? Because
no,
Ironman looked really good in their first game.
I didn't want to get him scared. I didn't want to get him scared.
So that is going to do it
That's
here
gonna do it
for this
I mean,
match.
it was impressive Land Sharks held that off there for a while.
Yeah, they did. It definitely was looking slightly dire for the Land Sharks for a moment, or the Sharks, but they were able to get a couple kills, key kills over here, and the attackers pushing for the War Boys, and the War Boys just couldn't find a way to break that cross, so it is going to be a stalemate. And then, yeah, next up it's going to be the Ironman taking on Annapolis A-team, and the Ironman looked really good in their win against Armada. So Annapolis A-team, I would say, Armada's a little bit more of a newer team, so
yeah, I would say, yeah. I'm gonna give my vote to A-team here. We'll see.
Okay, I got Ironman.
You got Ironman?
I got Ironman.
We'll take
Again,
our first official bet.
I think I have to.
Yeah, you're pretty much, yeah.
It's like I had to pick Cat Factory, even though I like the Saber was, but I have to pick the Ironman.
I mean, the Ironman don't mean the same to me once they got rid of the arms and sights.
Those were pretty sweet, especially when they were milled and put into the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But no, the Ironmen are actually quite a neat story, because they have a bunch of dads playing with their sons.
But that's the magic of this format and the resurgence of 10-man. I mean, yes, we have a bunch of teams that don't have any father-son combos, but I mean, even at the last event, we had in the amateur division, we had a grandfather-grandson combo with Pal Owen. He's 78 years old out here playing with his grandson who's 15.
Well, the unforeseen benefit of 10-man that I never realized back in the day, and I started seeing it now when you come back, is on X-ball teams and 7-man teams and 5-man teams, you're always cutting your weakest link. In 10-man, you're always drafting some guy. You're like, I don't have enough, need you to come. I'll bring some stuff for you. And then you get people, I mean, Dynasty, they were trying to pick up people in the parking lot last time we were here. Yeah, so
there was 3 different, it was Infamous, Dynasty, and Cat Factory all approached me at the last event we were here. They're like, hey, are you playing this event? And I was like, and Dave Baines even came up and was like, all right, hey, let me talk to you real quick. I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he's thinking, some information or something, whatever. And he's like, okay, so we're going to call this bunker this could be this bunker that. And I'm like, I don't know how to break this to you, man, but I can't play this one. We got it. The story must be told. We have to do the webcast. And he's like, ugh. He's like, we need to get another guy. I was like, I told Roy I couldn't do it.
That's but that's good, though. When you got to draft someone, right, then that means you're just dragging more people to play.
Yeah.
And once they play, they're hooked.
Dynasty, Dynasty picked up a couple local guys here at the last event. And it is funny, though. Yeah, you are needing to get guys, call them up like, I have all the stuff you need. We have a gun for you. We have packs, goggles. We need you to just show up. And have you played in the past year? You haven't? Okay, well, you used to be really good. So
you didn't
hopefully
play that big game at Sacramento? Yeah. Damn it. I was hoping you got some reps in.
Exactly, just a few, just a little, knock some of that rust off. Paintball is a little like riding a bike. The perishable skill is the accuracy of your snapshot, but I still feel that even if you haven't played in a while, you still can kind of put the X's and O's together if you've been doing it for a long time. But you do that, when you're in the gunfight, you're like, why are these balls not going
where I want them to go?
I want them to go?
My thing is the speed, the time it takes to get from spot to spot. Like at the ICC, I remember trying to cut across a clearing, and I'm like, wow, it's taking a lot longer than I envisioned.
Well, Tom, I'll tell you what.
The fact that I could think about it while making the move.
I'll tell you what. I watched you play when you were younger.
Yeah.
And, you were never slow. You had some wheels on you. And then I saw you play at the ICC with, I wouldn't call it a run-through, call it maybe a walk-through.
Yeah.
You have lost a few steps.
Yep.
Of course, I have too. So, we all get how it works. My knees don't really work the same way they used to.
But I don't think everybody used to say I was fast when we played, but compared to the little ninjas we got now, I'm nowhere near fast.
Yeah, but I remember watching you guys, I remember the first time I saw Bad Company, I think it was like, I'm dating myself, but I think it was like 95 Dallas. And I was playing with Navarone, and I was 16 or 17. And I saw you guys roll up with your Realtree camo, big, huge logo on your guys' backs, red. And sometimes teams had like smaller logos on their back, but you guys had this huge, bright, bold logo, and you guys were super loud and like had kind of a cocky swagger to you. And I'm like, I've heard about this Bad Company team, and I really like these guys. Then I watched you guys play, and for an East Coast team, you were playing pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
And as our cocky West Coast selves, we felt like we were the the West Coast, we were the aggressive teams, and teams would sit on us. But you guys were playing reckless, aggressive paintball. It was fun to watch. And I watched you run to your spot, and you were not slow.
Well, I think terrain had a lot to do with it, right? Because in California, you could play and you could see everywhere. On the East Coast, people typically grew up playing on thicker fields like Florida or even Pennsylvania, so the All-Americans. So it was definitely a slower game. You guys were playing flamboyant, so
Well, I agree with you 100% because if you look at where the Ironman style of paintball, it was two things: playing in reeds and anise, and then playing big, huge, stand-up giant trees. Because some of the fields like Felton, you're playing with the sequoias and in the redwoods. So those trees were so big that they were essentially like stand-up airball bunkers before those existed. Whereas when we went back east to play you guys, it was more of a traditional paintball field in the sense where you're playing bunker to bunker to bunker, not necessarily tree to tree. And then we would get crawl. So us knowing how to play that close-up crawl game, combined with having big stand-up bunkers and having to play that aggressive gunfighting game and to make yourself and give big, huge, big moves, that was that West Coast offense. And so, yeah, if you look at the style of play of the All-A's or the style of play, Shock was a little merger of both.
Yep.
But that's why kind of like when I saw you guys play, I liked Bad Company out the gate because you guys had a pretty flamboyant, aggressive style yourselves.
Red barrels, we were playing with red
barrels. Yeah, you had the red accents on the Real Tree camo. It was a cool look back in the day.
You think about it, like California was bringing out chromed autocockers, and we were coming out with goggle flash.
Yeah, we were like tiger stripe, chromed out autocockers with like some flash on our goggles and stuff. And then, well, I mean, we only used to wear goggles back in the day. We didn't wear face masks.
Yeah.
But yeah, forward baseball caps, just goggles. Like
the All-Americans were coming out with goggle flash.
Yeah.
So we were in two different worlds. So yeah, we definitely were
Automags,
more with
autocockers.
that. Yeah.
Here we go, Ironman on your right from that blue start station, and right now about to go down, taking on the Annapolis A team. And as the gentleman's wager, I got my money on the Ironman, and Tom's got his money on the Annapolis, Maryland boys. So here we go. They are the first to strike. First body to come off is going to be a body for the Ironman as they try to double up that roller again.
Just saying something. Their second game, and that's their first body dead.
Annapolis, yeah, that's true. Annapolis, though, did take the tank off the break. So that, again, is another time, Tom, where we could chalk up to, yes, the tank is makeable off the break. We've seen, again, only one body get shot off the break attempting to take that crucial position. So that's just something that everyone's going to have to keep in mind strategically. You either need to put a gun that way or start going there yourself. Now, we have watched a decent amount of guys die out of that spot, though.
Correct.
In
but
gunfights.
yeah, I don't know if they're playing it that good when they're dying.
Yeah. So, but yeah, good field position right now for the A team. And
question: have we had anybody go around the tank and make it back?
yes, one guy did do that in I think the second set that we watched. Guy went around, stabbed the opponent, and then came back and stayed alive. It was a nice, clean move. And then we also saw the best move of the tournament so far.
Run through, almost a run through, yeah.
Yeah, 3-pack run through up the center from Cap Factory. And I think that was Brandon Lambertson or Roy Richard that made that move. But, so right now, things have solidified in their lineups. I didn't see any bodies come off for Annapolis A team, so it does appear to be a 10-on-9 in favor of the A team, and they have the ground in the center. So, but this is what the Ironmen did in their first game that we saw out here, Tom. Remember, they took some good spots, but then they just started winning gunfight after gunfight after gunfight.
Well, they really feel this right-hand side is the better side of the field.
Okay.
They had told me that because I said you guys played kind of slow at the beginning, talking to them between the games, and they had said that they had planned for it because they felt like they had the bad side.
They have a good cross-field spread. They have, both teams have bodies mirrored up on that sub side of the field.
Ironman just lost another body, and they refilled that spot instantly. That kid made a good little move.
He did. That was a nice dive in.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
and they filled again in the back spot, so that's pretty good teamwork.
Well, and sometimes, as you well know, if you have your opponent or your teammate die out of a spot, you need to get into that spot, but you have to be very careful because if you don't go in clean, you're going in the same lane that guy could potentially just got shot from.
Yeah,
so you need to know that. Did he get shot from that lane or did he just lose the gunfight? And that will dictate whether or not you can make that quick move in. But still, nice move from the Ironman. But they did lose another body, and they got a ref checking out player in the back corner bunker here on the snake side of the field.
He's clean. Back snake guy's clean. Yeah, they're actually filling their losses good, which means they're taking their plans to a second and third level, which is important. Just getting to your spots and saying what you're gonna do from that spot's never enough.
Well, and we did talk about the difference between, earlier on we were discussing, I was asked by one of the guys from the Royal City Sea Dogs, okay, well, how does what's going on right now in 10-man match up with the legendary days of 10-man? And I think that as far as individual gun skills are concerned, it's better now by far. running and gunning, all that stuff, left-handed shot, all that. But the strategy isn't quite at the same level that it used to be. But we're watching these legendary old school Ironman players with their kids, so they brought them up to understand that strategy.
Yeah.
So we've been seeing good strategy and good executed gunfights from the Ironman. However, they're not really playing that aggressive. They are allowing their opponents to take ground. And if you're going to play defensive, you have to win your gunfight. So that's another situation here the Ironmen are in. They have let Annapolis A-Team take the tank and also now the 50 Snake. Here comes a move up in the center. So A-Team is stacking up at this 50-yard line. They have another body up in the center 50. Snake 50 still hot, tank still hot. Ironmen play on their heels a little bit here, dug into their spots.
Playing tight, though.
They are playing very tight.
Playing tight.
Lost 2 bodies so far. And I don't think they've shot anyone from the A-Team yet. I think it is a 10-on-8 right now. Do you remember seeing anybody walk off from the A-Team?
No, I do not remember seeing anybody walk off.
So good communication. You can hear from both teams. They're definitely talking it up. So you can see here, this is Annapolis A-Team on your screen. As they've taken a lot of ground. The teams filling each other out here after these initial moves. A-Team with a real big tactical advantage. The ground that they have taken. Trying to work the Ironmen out of their spots, but Tom, like you said, the Ironmen are playing very tight in their position.
Tight.
Which is what we saw in that first game.
Yeah, it's just weird because we've seen this same position a couple times, and it just feels like I can barely see anything of the Ironmen from where we're standing. Where earlier I could see the whole players, you know, from the other teams. Just shows you how much tighter they're playing than the other teams were.
Yeah, the Ironmen are obviously an old school legendary name. And but they've been another team that's been playing all these 10-man events. So
correct.
It's just really cool to see. See if the A-Team can close. Still some time left in this game. Oh, another body comes off for the Ironmen here. So the A-Team slowly but surely whittling the Ironmen's line down. That's the 3rd kill.
Is that the body you were counting, the one that's walking off now?
Yeah. I didn't know for a second if he was going to come off, but by the, you know, when the referee sees a hit and they kind of do that quick little move and kind of gesture at the player, and I was thinking, okay, somebody from the Ironman got shot. And now he's going to come and check out the player for the Ironman at the roller here who's shooting towards the sub side. So the A-Team looking real good so far.
Yeah, they're kind of in a bottleneck right here. He's got to somehow find a way to get past this. I think once you get a guy in the Snake 50, you really need to try to get into the ditch.
That does seem to be the last component because it's hard to get in here.
Yeah.
But getting into the Snake is a lot easier. Now, speak of the devil, here goes a body for the A-Team into the ditch. Oh, but looks like the A-Team is going to be losing.
Almost every time when a guy gets in the Snake, or the ditch, the Snake guy dies. Never happens fast.
I know, but that's the potent combo. You have a guy in the ditch and a guy in the Snake. That's what you want to have. But
that's what you want to have.
Yeah, but unfortunately, yeah, the A-Team did lose that body just as the player got into the ditch.
This might work, though. I don't know if the Ironman guy knows he's in the ditch. He sees the guy come out of the Snake. He might start playing a little more looser.
Well, he checked off on that lane. So he's now at the 50-yard line here in the ditch. But it's just him over here. The death of the Snake player. Oh, and he gets the free kill inside. Beautiful shot here.
As I told you, I don't think that roller knew he was in there.
Yeah,
so
you called it. Now he's got to be careful in here, though, as the guns are going to shift to him. So now he just needs to just hang out in the spot. Still has some time, 4:17 on the clock, and they just got their 4th or 5th kill. There still is a player for the Ironman on the sub side or in the backfield, though. He's up 1 positioning. He's gunfighting down that line. Ironman, a couple more bodies as well over here on this Sake and subside. Now the Ironman loses another body. So what was working for the Ironman in their two bodies. So what was working for the Ironman in their first match is not working now. They went with a little bit more of a defensive look at the start of the game. hoping to win some gunfights, but they could not protect any of the key spots. A-Team moved up the field, and now A-Team is clocked in with some gunfight wins of their own. Those two bodies came off at the same time. There wasn't a penalty assessed, so just 2 lost gunfights for the Ironman, and that's been a bunch of early gunfight deaths for the Ironman, and a real good look for the A-Team, considering how well the Ironman played their first match.
Yeah, for sure. Look, now we got those little sneaky ninjas coming through the middle, and that's pretty much going to clear this out. But once again, the Ironmen are playing super tight.
Yeah, the Ironmen,
I mean, even up as many bodies as they are, there's no free deaths.
So A-Team trying to close. They're way past the 50. They're on to the Ironman's side of the field. They're at their roller and just trying to find a way to close out these last couple bodies. They still have 3 minutes to work with. So though you get points for kills and you lose points for deaths, you get points for hang and pull. The time doesn't really matter for the score. So they have still some time to try to close this out clean. Now making moves on that sub side as well.
Over there.
I think it might be just these last 2 bodies here for the Ironman, and they're about to die. Here comes the full send. There goes one. Is it going to be a clean 2-pack run through?
Nope.
They do the ring around the Rosie, and the Ironman player, though, has just too many angles of incoming paint for him to stay alive in that spot, and it was basically a one on a bunch.
Yeah, we call it a one on a bunch.
Yeah, that was not a great look here for the Ironman. Not like it was in their first match. Just if you're going to go defense, you have to make your shots. And this is a field where that center has become very potent. We saw Davey Simmons from Chicago Aftershock at the last event here be their MVP by dominating on that sub side. And then obviously the Snake and the Trench are very potent weapons as well too. So if you're going to ignore those spots and not take the ground and let your opponents get in there, you got to win some gunfights. Ironman just not able to do it in that one. And A-Team's going to take the victory. So next up, we're going to have Brimstone and X-Men, and then Armada taking on Chicago Aftershock after that. So we're almost halfway through the day here.
Yeah, it's flying by.
It is flying by. Beautiful day out here, Central Florida. Paintball. Matty Marshall got Tom Cole, the president of the NXL, going to be up here this weekend with me, talking about the 2020 season, talking about the 10-man revival. You know, we were talking off camera before we went live about how fun the UWL format was when you threw that together back in the day.
Yep.
And it was that was what,
it's
11
funny
years
that it's called back in the day now.
Well, it was 11 years ago, you were saying, right?
Yeah, 11 years ago.
That was a full
it
day.
was a back in the day of a back in the day thing. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
But that was kind of one of the first tastes of having some sort of like, hey, let's play a tournament format, but with some woods. And I remember when you called me up, hey, do you want to put a team in? And I was like, absolutely. Let me make a few phone calls here, try to get some guys out of retirement. And we won the first 2. I still have the trophy at my house.
It was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was a fun event. So yeah, and then you know, the 10-man revival. I just love that the NXL has been fully embracing it. And you know, again, hats off to Tim Montresor, the Fight Club guys, and all the guys that have been helping lead the charge here in the 10-man revival. And it's growing. You guys have more teams here than you did in February or back in last year. Yep. The season.
What was that? October.
October. Yep.
Yeah. No, we're up to 43 teams, 43 10-man teams, which is a lot. I mean, you think compare that to like an X-Ball tournament. I mean, that's like 70 teams.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's a good look, and it just keeps growing because it's just look. Everyone knows how fun X-Ball is. That there's a reason why. It looks like there's some more arguments. Why the A-Team just won? I don't know why Kim's over here.
No, I think he's getting critiqued from the sidelines.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Kim looked. He played. I've seen Kim play some good paintball before. Definitely remember that name.
So what do you think of the ICPL logos on the field? Did they show up well?
They did. Yeah, you can actually see it, I think, on the screen right now, just a little bit. I think that maybe we need a little bit more white in there to help it pop a little, but I think that that's a cool addition as well too. Poor Jason, he's hazard pay with all the spray paint he's out there.
Jason has become the go-to guy for spray painting logos.
Well, hey, if you do something well, you continue to do that job.
Job security, we call that.
So yes, I like it. I think it's cool. I really wish we had another ICPL in the middle of the season at some point in time. That would be pretty sweet.
We plan on trying to expand to 3. You know, we're trying to take it slow and not put a lot of pressure because, you know, we're requiring these pro teams to play the circuit.
Yes.
All right, here we have the breakout.
Yeah, so here we go as we're heading into Brimstone taking on X-Men. Brimstone from the red-hand side, the right, from the left-hand side, the red side, and the X-Men. Actually,
the X-Men, I think-
X-Men are on the red side. Brimstone's on the right. So X-Men on the left, Brimstone on the right. Brimstone with good field position as another body has made it to that tank off the break untouched.
Yeah, and I actually think he tripped going there and had to stop, pull up short, still made it to the tank.
That's an incredibly makeable spot. We've only seen one body drop off the break attempting to get there in all these games we've seen this morning so far. So no bodies have dropped for either squad at the start of this game. It's 10 on 10. There are 12 just joining us. There's 12 minutes in regulation time, so 10 on 10 lived through the first minute of this contest. Brimstone still doubling up the back spot, but taking ground. Yeah, this is a really good break for Brimstone. They have another body up in that center too, just in case they lose that body at the tank. They've also taken a decent bite from the sub side as well. And then here, now they're going to double up the tank.
Tank, yeah.
Yeah, tank. So looking good.
Yeah. Yeah, really, your only hope around the tank is that he's looking the opposite way when you go to make one of your moves at the 50s. If they double it up, that's...
Yeah, and I mean, you could get lucky. If you run through, you could get both of them. But having both of those guys up there means they don't have to decide which way they want to shut down.
The snake.
Brimstone making some
So
good
they must have went back
secondaries.
and talked about this because they didn't play that aggressive this first game.
No, they did not.
At all, and now they're coming out playing
well,
all out.
I feel that having watched this field, I know you guys added a few bunkers here or there, but the bunkers you added are to help aggression on this snake and trench side. So this was a field that aggression worked out at the last event that we saw, and now even more so, I think. So I think the teams that are going to play defensive, it's going to be tough for them out here. As I mean, Brimstone has just coasted into all of these spots. They've untouched, making real good moves here, looking good in their spots, looking like they know their angles. Well, they might be losing a body from the tank. The referee is going to get in there and pull them out. But that's why you put two. Put two up there, you still have that body up there.
But they did eliminate the sub-side guy at the same time.
And they're going to lose. Brimstone's going to lose another body, this time from the backfield, though, in his transition up one bunker. So the X-Men getting a couple kills here, but X-Men losing a body as well. So the bodies are starting to drop. There goes a big move on the sub side all the way into the 50-yard line.
Brimstone now has all 350s. All 350s.
So Reyes in the snake for Brimstone. He's got a buddy behind him. They also have a player in the back position, and he might want to think about moving up from that spot now that he has so many bodies up here near the 50, because most of the guns are going to be looking towards him. He could get up to this tree over here on the snake side and really be a force from there. It's a great gunfighting spot. And it looks like he might want to be making that move. He's still back there, but yeah, lots of good field position here currently for Brimstone. 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Who do you think's going to win this tournament?
Wow, you put me on the spot right there. I haven't seen enough games yet.
I know it's early.
I would say so far the best team we've seen is Cat Factory.
Yeah, they looked really good.
They
looked really good out here.
You know, you do get some disparity out of here in the levels of teams, and so it's hard to know, you know, beating Armada is not the same as beating a dynasty, right? So you know, it's harder to test the different stuff, but so far Cap has looked the best.
You know, we still, absolutely, we still have some of the favorites to see out here. Really want to see what Infamous is going to look like. They have a stacked roster too.
And Infamous actually placed second at both the events last year. A little bit of heartbreak. They tried to do a little too much math.
Yeah, that's right. I was out there filming for that game. That was probably one of the most boring finals games I've ever seen. I think it ended like 8-on-9 after 10 minutes. Looks like Brimstone might be losing their body here from the 50-yard line of the snake, but he's clean. Yeah, you're right. They tried to do too much math, and it cost them that first place trophy. But 2 second place finishes, not too bad.
Not too bad at all.
Their team is definitely stacked for this one, so could give Cap or Shock or Saber, whoever ends up being, a run for their money. There's kind of a tough death here for Brimstone out of that snake. So that's 2 bodies they've lost from this 50-yard line. Now they might be losing a third as the referee is, and they're checking that tank out pretty good, but it looks like he is clean. And then the X-Men are going to drop a body from that center. So that's good for Brimstone Smoke. See if they can retake some of these positions. They, at one point in time, had 3 bodies at the 50-yard line. Now they just have 1.
Another X-Men just dropped back, sub-side back. X-Men have been playing good counter-punch defensive ball while they just lost both their back guys.
Yeah,
right, just Brimstone lost a guy on the sub-side.
Some tough deaths here for the X-Men after getting a couple nice key kills. So, and then here comes the push. So it's that player from the sub who had made it into the 50-yard line for Brimstone, and then now he actually fully commits and tries to run through after getting a couple kills over there, but he ends up getting taken out cross field. So I do like what we're seeing out of Brimstone. They took some ground. Yes, the survivability a little bit of an issue at the 50s, but that move in the sub side was nice. They got a couple kills from this position. Still have that body at the tank. But their back players need to filter up a little bit.
For sure.
That's one of the big differences you see with the really good teams, the teams that look polished, that understand the 10-man strategy, is they really utilize those windows of once you get your players in position and the guns shift to them. When I'm playing, if I'm playing 10-man and I have 3 bodies from my enemies, my opponents at the 50-yard line, I'm spending most of my time worried about those guys.
for sure.
So that means
You're
less
not
pressure.
cheating past them to shoot at the back
Yeah,
guy.
because I have to most likely put that guy in just to get a shot on his back player and then engage in a gunfight with him. So that means if you're a back player and you have a lot of your guys up at the 50, get up the field and help those guys out a little bit. Hopefully you walk the field so you know which positions to go based on where your teammate's at to give you guys the best look on the aggression. But that's kind of the difference in some of the tactics here, some of the levels of these teams. But Brimstone's starting to close the gap a little bit here. They're starting to filter up the field. They retake that 50 on the sub side. That was a great move. That's what needed to happen. And then now this is what needed to happen too.
Yeah.
So that's a 50-yard line, sub side, and the tank, and the snake.
Another X-Men just got pulled out, so that's going to open up the floodgates.
Yeah. So here comes another full send through the center and on the sub side to try to see if there's any bodies left alive, and it looks like, nope, they just won those last couple gunfights and got all the kills that they needed. That's actually kind of rare. Typically there's like one tick dug in somewhere that you have to go bunker out.
Yeah, that definitely looked better for Smoked.
Yeah, so we've had a few stalemates out here, but most of these games have either been won or lost, keeping us on schedule. So now we're going to head into another pro match. Again, the game's here at the ICPL on this hybrid center court where the finals are going to be going down tomorrow. Going pretty good here. Staggering between amateur and pros. So we'll have it. That was an amateur team. Now we got pros coming back out here with Armada from Mexico taking on the team that won it all last year, Chicago Aftershock. Few lineup changes for Shock. No Mikey Bruno, but they picked up Shane Pastana. And they also have Dan Holiday on that squad as well too. Other than that, it's kind of the same squad that they had when they won here in October.
Yeah, definitely a lot of the old school killers. Before the break, we were talking about whether we were going to add another event, that big middle.
Yes.
So yeah, in 2021, we're looking to add a 3rd event. We need to get a West Coast event going.
Yes, please.
Make the California guys happy and add a 3rd event. But the pros are playing the circuit and they have to play all the events. It's a locked division, so we're trying to be considerate of their time and just try not to have it so that they can't go around. But and we do have some of the players are playing both the NXL and this.
Yes.
So it makes it truly a challenge. But this year we just did a situation where we're dividing the United States or the world into conferences in the X-Ball world. So we have a European conference and a North American conference, and we're not allowing the players really to cross-play. Mm-hmm. So that will free up some time for the American players to maybe play this circuit as well.
But like you said, things take time, and you don't want to put too much of a burden on your customer base,
right,
even though they're rabid fans and they want to play as many tournaments as possible to still have jobs and wives and kids and things they got to worry about.
Right.
So, no, I get it. It's just we all selfishly want that 3rd event just because it would just be such a cool thing to have, you have your event at the beginning of the season, another event in the middle, event to cap it off, be a good 3-tournament series in the woods. So I'm excited about the
And it's
future
hard
of
to
it.
crown a champion with 2 events and relegate a team on 2 events,
Yeah.
right?
It makes it a lot more immediate. It's much more difficult. You don't have
Yeah,
as many
for sure.
games to play. So, but I just overall, again, I think it's really cool of how this is all kind of shaken out. really happy that 10-man's back. Excited to start the 2020 season. There's been so many changes with all the pro teams. Again, every year we go into the offseason, we're thinking, well, it's not going to be as crazy as it was last year. And then sure enough.
I think Heat kept pretty much the same lineup, didn't they?
Yes, our world champions, they kind of knew going in, though, that so I went to the dinner that they had, their championship dinner at Charlie's. Thanks, Randy. The steak was delicious. But at that dinner, he got up and gave a toast. And he said, I'm not changing the roster at all. And they had opportunities to pick up some guys. I mean,
of course, yeah.
You know, A-Rod, they were thinking maybe, well, I just said we weren't going to change the roster, but maybe we should pick up A-Rod because A-Rod left Dynasty. But they decided not to. But if you just came off back-to-back world championships, yeah, it does. And I talked to Randy about it. He's like, what do you think? I'm like, what you have is working. You have some really good players, obviously, on your team. And
good chemistry.
Yeah, good chemistry. They're also starting to spread the playing time a little bit around, too. So, you know, when you have, like, Edmonton Impact and their stacked roster, and now they're going to be – they stacked up with some different guys this year, so that's an interesting story. But they kind of have their guys play through, and then whoever's the best 5, that's who starts on Sunday. So Heat also has been doing a similar thing, but that keeps guys happy because, you know, I mean, even if you're getting paid, but you're sitting on the bench constantly, that's a tough thing mentally.
Yeah.
And then when you are called upon to get out there, you're not fresh. And, I mean, you are fresh, but you're not warmed up. It can be a frustrating thing. So I like the way that Heat's been running their program. Obviously, it's been successful. You don't win 2 World Cups in a row if things aren't working in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, but the cool thing, though, is that for years it was like, okay, there's only a couple teams that have a chance to win a tournament, but now they're legitimately, I feel, probably at least, for sure 6, because Impact is ranked 6th, and of course they won one last year and still ended up 6th place. But going even down to maybe 10th or 11th place, I still feel that some of those guys have a chance to win tournaments.
So I was going to ask, do you think this is the best parity we've had?
I really do.
I was debating that.
I really do, actually. I mean, I've been watching paintball a long time, played it for a long time. But I really think that this is at the pro level, if we can go down to, you know, the 10th ranked team, still having a chance to win.
Yeah.
I mean, because we're sitting there, you know, I mean, do the Ironman have a chance to win in 2020? They think they do. Now, I don't know if they do. They got to prove it to us. But, you know.
Who is ranked 10th right now?
We have, so you got, like, down on 10th, 11th, 9th, you have, like, Damage, Infamous, and Ironman, right?
Yeah, no.
So.
Damage,
I mean,
actually, I feel is going to win one.
Right? So then you also have Revo, 7th, 8th, right, you know, right around there, and then Impact 6th. So the Dynasty 5th, it's like when you start heading into all these names, I mean, you have Impact and Dynasty ranked 5th and 6th.
No one would be amazed, yes. No one's going to be amazed if Dynasty wins one, Impact wins one.
Yeah. But at this point, I wouldn't be amazed if Revo won a tournament. I think it would be.
It'd be pretty.
I don't think
it'd be pretty newsworthy.
Yeah, it would. Oh, it'd be very newsworthy. That's what I'm trying to find the right word for it. But because they've gotten so good, they've made so many. I mean, I think Revo has made every Sunday for 2 years now, except for World Cup of 2018. So that's impressive.
Yeah.
They've made it to the semifinals twice. Then you have like an AC Dallas who's never won a pro tournament, but they've made it to the finals 4 times.
Do
as do can get. Triple do. Overdue, however, just call it whatever do you want.
This breakout, here we go. We got Aftershock coming from the blue side and Armada coming from the red side. Armada has taken the tank on the break and is alive. Wow.
Yeah, so Shock looked pretty good in their first win against the Docks Warriors, and now taking a lot of ground again. They get Dan Holiday.
I see one Armada walking off the field. Yes, they're definitely taking a lot of ground.
Well, Armada, again, took the tank off the break.
Took the tank off
So even though Shock has been getting into some really good positions here on the sub side too, but that's been more secondaries, even though they are taking some ground off the break on that side, but they've really been extending over here on the Trent side, but they haven't really gone up in the center too much yet, so maybe they're keeping that in back. Ooh, Danny Tilchak's going to be walking off early. He had a real big game for him with a 3-pack in their first match out here.
Him launching into that snake is important, for sure.
So Meter Ninos, though, he had an early death in the last one, but he stays alive, but this time it's Danny. So I think it is a 9 on 10. No, it looks like they did get a shot on one of the Armada players, so pretty even on the body count.
9 on 9.
Yeah, better field position, though, for Armada because they have the tank. But with how stacked up Shock is over here on this trench side, even with the loss of Danny, having Dan in this really good position, he's just a hop, step, and a jump away from getting into this trench. And he's got, I think, Rishi Malcheski behind him, so we'll see how this is going to play itself out. A lot of time left to go. It's 12 minutes in regulation time. If you're just joining us, thank you so much for joining us here at the 2020 ICPL Sunshine Classic. I'm Matty Marshall with Tom Cole, the president of the NXL.
Shock definitely takes that weird little 40 bunker that no one else ever takes.
Yeah, and using it as an insert. I think that's Davey Simmons, the MVP from their win here in October, but he might be taking the early walk.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah,
he's
he
dead.
is.
What's interesting is, yeah, I don't know if anybody ever even noticed he was there.
We got Nick Sloviak in here. I don't know.
Sloviak's going to step in for me because I'm going to go do my job.
This is part of your job. You're the face. You're the face of the ICPL.
We occasionally got to do other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go do a quick little walk around.
We'll wait for this end of this game.
Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully we get Nick on here a little bit. He's out here playing with Northwest Rogue.
So our Armada's up a body now.
Yeah, Armada up a body, so Davey Simmons coming off. So Danny Tiljack and Davey Simmons both walking off here. Still pretty decent field position because Dan Holiday is alive. He had an early death in the first game. But Meter's also alive. He's at the roller. So Armada's got a chance, though, because they still have that body in the tank. And now with the death of Simmons, with the death of Simmons, they don't have anyone up there to try to go bunker that player out.
And to be honest, it'll be hard to make this move into the ditch with that tank shooting this way.
So now we may have Nick Sloviak. Is the mic working now?
You got me squared away.
Oh, there we go.
We're back. We're here.
Well, welcome back to the booth. Yeah, so you're out here playing with Northwest Rogue, but you are also very familiar with Chicago Aftershock.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because you say Northwest Rogue, and I was like, one of these tournaments I assumed I was playing with Shock, and Rick's like, hey, my buddy Carmen with Rogue needs a player, and I was like, oh. I guess, okay.
So Armada just lost their tank guy.
Oh, man.
Aftershock took the sub.
I heard earlier.
And then Armada just refilled it.
A tough game.
Who?
Shock against Jax.
It was a very tough game.
They did, but they still won with, I think, 3 or 4 bodies left.
Yeah, that's when I decided to come over here because I heard people be like, hey, that's Tom Cole announcing. What's he doing? I was like, he's probably hiding from people who are searching for him here.
No, I haven't seen anyone run over here frantically trying to get his attention.
They don't know he's here.
So things are going pretty well.
We didn't tell anybody I was here.
All the viewers at home know.
I was actually this has been kind of peaceful.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
we haven't had, there's no fire, now knock on wood, because now probably something's going to go wrong. But right now, Shock is, they were able to work out that player from Armada, and it looks like they're going to get another kill.
Yeah, but now they're going to be tough on that sub side, because Aftershock is, Aftershock dropped a guy. So, but I believe there's an Aftershock guy in the sub, or close to the sub.
The sub being what,
all the way down the bottom,
the
opposite side of this.
Well, I don't see anyone behind that body. It looks like Danny Love might be over there. There's at least 3, 4 bodies stacked up over here on our side and in the center.
And maybe no one over there.
Yeah, there might not be because the player that walked off was from the corner.
I feel like I saw someone dive into that sub, but it was right.
Yeah, so another reposition here for Chicago Aftershock as they load up
there
the
he
turret.
Is. There's definitely someone in that sub now.
Yeah, and then here comes
now
they're flooding up the field, and here comes the commitment up into the center for Shock. They're going to get Meter into the snake.
Their entire team moved at the same time, basically.
Yeah, but that's the tactics we talked about.
Yeah.
And that's the type of secondary moves you need to be making here.
And Armada just lost another guy. But yeah, this is definitely the feeding frenzy that Shock is famous for.
Right. You know, the awesome thing about that is that they didn't do it immediately off the kills. They stepped in their bunkers. They communicated. They said where the bodies dropped from. And then once one body moved to probably draw a gun, or just get in a better position, everyone else took advantage of that. And the absence of fire, looks like Todd Adamson making his move through the center.
Yeah, Todd passed the 50-yard line. He was out in the open area for a while,
He's
just
a
using the
creeper.
trees.
He's a creeper.
Using that old school tree drill to block players out. And here comes Richie Malcheski, and he's going to try to run through. He's going to get one.
No, I don't know if he got him.
I don't know if he got him. It looked like he tried to shoot him one-handed as he went past, but the player
he did get him. He got him
shot him on the inside of the thigh.
Yep.
So that was a good move by Richie to try to break things open here, leaving Meter Ninos over on this snake side. They still have a body past the 50-yard line with Todd Adamson, and they also have a body at the 50-yard line on the sub side.
Yeah, another shot guy dropping on the far side over there. So,
and this is where they need to slow it down. Meter going to talk to Spence in the center of the field. But yeah, a couple bodies have walked off.
Spence. I was wondering who that tall guy was out there.
Alex Spence.
Yeah.
A couple Florida guys guesting with Shock. Meter making a good move, undetected over here. The head of the snake. He's going to get a couple kills right now.
Yeah, no one sees Meter Ninos. Meter's now all the way onto their side of the field. No one's picked him up. He's through the trench, and he's at the stand-up right behind the trench, wrapping around. There's a kill one for Meter. He's going to get another free one on that back center. Has no IDs there.
Yeah, nice shot by Meter.
Meter is just cleaning house to finish off this game for Shock. And
that should be it. Nice job.
But that's a good game for Armada.
Yeah, so is that their amateur team?
No, that was their pro team, I think.
I don't know who.
Yeah, I believe